go the distance and give you several quality innings, which MTSU expects tonight. He had a season-high 8 1/3 with 9 strikeouts against Delaware back on April 17th, and he is number 7 in Conference USA in total strikeouts. Meanwhile, for FIU, quite possibly their best pitcher is on the mound tonight, Preston Prince, the southpaw out of Hilton, New York. He is a transfer from Rutgers University, a 5.01 ERA, an 0-3 record, 41 1/3 innings pitched with 48 total strikeouts. Team leader in Ks so far this season, and he had a season-high 7 1/3 innings pitched versus Kennesaw State back on April 10th. And 10 strikeouts versus Dallas Baptist just a couple weeks ago on April 24th here in Miami. So keep an eye on Preston Prince. This guy is looking to make a major statement against MTSU tonight. We're going to take a quick timeout. When we come back, we will bring you our Ascend starting lineups, and we'll get a brief word from Owen Nowak, the center fielder for the Blue Raiders, about what they need to do to get a series win in Miami this weekend. All that and more coming up in 2 minutes right here on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
The Blue Raiders are winners in the classroom, on the field, and the courts. Richard Lewis here. I want you to win in real estate also. Buying, selling, auction here in Tennessee, or along the Gulf Coast, a second home, or investing.
Hey, can we slip a legal ID in at the end of the break before the liner coming back?
9981.
All right. Thought I'd get it out of the way.
For your referrals, Richard Lewis, Exit Realty, Bob Lamb & Associates.
Las Casas Drugs is a proud sponsor of Blue Raider Athletics, located at 4702 Las Casas Pike, just minutes from Murfreesboro. Las Casas Drugs strives to provide all of your pharmaceutical needs in that hometown atmosphere you deserve. Family-owned and operated, Las Casas Drugs offers free delivery, immunizations, drive-through window, gift shop, merchandise, and medication management programs. Come by and see how we can make a difference. And go Blue Raiders!
Bring your game day style courtside with a stop at Lightning's Locker Room on the concourse. From bold new drops to timeless campus classics, we've got everything you need to turn heads from class to tip-off. Whether you're rocking a hoodie in the student section or sporting a tee around town, your look says it loud. You're here for the wins, the energy, and the tradition. So step up your style and your spirit, because at Lightning's Locker Room, the season never slows down, and every fan plays a part in the hype. Let's make every day feel like game day.
Hey Blue Raider fans, this is Brad Hopkins with Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates. Winning in real estate is a lot like football. Good coaching and recruiting a great team are the keys. I put together a team of lenders, inspectors, and home professionals to help you succeed. Let me coach you through this process and make sure you come out a winner. Whether you're looking to buy, sell, or invest, I am here to help you win. Visit BradHopkinsHomes.com or call 615-556-9239 to find out more.
10 seconds here.
Middle Tennessee Sports, WGNS, Murfreesboro, Smyrna. The Blue Raiders play here. WGNS, the flagship station for Blue Raider sports.
Welcome back to the FIU Baseball Stadium here in Miami, Florida. Dylan Simmons with you on this Friday evening from South Beach, expecting a great Game 1 in this series between Middle Tennessee and FIU. As pregame festivities are taking place, the national anthem is about to be played. While that is being played, we'll try to get the Owen Nowak interview for the pregame show placed in. So make sure you stay tuned as we get that playing, and we'll step aside to hear from Owen Nowak.
Hey, the sound's not coming through. Hey, Dylan, I don't have any sound.
At State Farm, when home and auto work as a team, you score and save money. I'm State Farm agent Andy Wama. Give me a call at 615-890-0850 and let's work together to win big by saving money on home and auto. With the service you get from State Farm, you might think our car insurance costs more. I'm State Farm agent Andy Wama. Give me a call at 615-890-0850 and let me show you with discounts up to 40%. You may find it even costs less.
At Middle Tennessee Electric, we see the lines that link us all, illuminating our neighborhoods, empowering our businesses, and helping us to recharge. Because we believe in the power of good energy. Whether it comes from our grids, the sun, or a kind heart. And as your family and our region continue to grow, you can trust that we'll always be there for you. Middle Tennessee Electric, bringing good energy.
Are you back?
Folks, it's Chip Walters from Exit Realty Bob.
Yeah, something's wrong there. I'm hearing the audio, but very low. It sounds like maybe the plug's not in all the way or something on the audio.
That's fine. Yeah, that's okay.
Okay.
Look into that tomorrow.
Gotcha. I dumped out of it and started playing a break here, so I'll come back right here.
Okay.
All right, 10 seconds.
Move. Start with someone you trust. Visit choosechip.net and let's make your 2026 move the right move.
You're listening to MTSU Sports on WGNS.
Welcome back here to Miami, Florida. Dylan Simmons on the call with you. Apologize for the technical difficulties we had with the interview a second ago. Appreciate Brian back at the station for helping us through that. But as we get set for tonight's game, let's take a quick look at the Ascend starting lineups. Ascend Federal Credit Union is the exclusive credit union of Blue Raider Athletics. Learn more at ascend.org. We'll start with the FIU Panthers. They'll have Samuel Fisher, or Sammy Fisher as he's known by the team. The second baseman will be leading off for FIU tonight. He'll be followed by Mario Travella, who we talked about in the pregame show at shortstop. Cooper Rasmussen, the team leader in hits, is at third base. Andrew Ildefonso is in left field in the cleanup spot. Aiden Kohal is at first base. Enrique Alvarez Jr. is the DH. Mark Hirsch is the catcher. Hector Candelas is the right fielder. And Cole Cleveland is in center field with, of course, Preston Prince on the mound. Meanwhile, for your Blue Raiders, it is Owen Nowak in center field. Tyler Minnick is the catcher. Cooper Clapp will be the second baseman in the 3 spot tonight. Dean O'Neill is at first base. Lane Akers is the DH. Nathan Brewer in left field. Brett Von Dolan at third base. Brett Rogers in right field. And Clay Badalak is at shortstop. So about the usual lineup for MTSU, all things considered. And, of course, the incredible David Horn Jr. on the mound tonight, looking for several solid innings for the Blue Raiders as they get set to go head-to-head with FIU. And really quickly, looking back at the series history between these two teams, FIU has won the last 2 series. They won in 2024, 2-1, and did the same last year in Murfreesboro in 2025. FIU has made the last 2 Conference USA tournaments, not on track to do that this year. MTSU hoping to make it themselves and hoping to break the streak against FIU tonight. The Panthers have never lost a series against Jerry Myers here at home, and they're hoping that that'll translate to another big series win this weekend. But MTSU, in some ways, looking to exercise some demons with a road series win this weekend in Miami. We're going to take one more 2-minute timeout. When we come back, we'll have Blue Raider baseball live from the FIU Baseball Stadium. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in 2 on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
Las Casas Drugs is a proud sponsor of Blue Raider Athletics, located at 4702 Las Casas Pike, just minutes from Murfreesboro. Las Casas Drugs strives to provide all of your pharmaceutical needs in that hometown atmosphere you deserve. Family-owned and operated, Las Casas Drugs offers free delivery, immunizations, drive-through window, gift shop, merchandise, and medication management programs. Come by and see how we can make a difference. And go Blue Raiders!
Bring your game day style courtside with a stop at Lightning's locker room on the concourse. From bold new drops to timeless campus classics, we've got everything you need to turn heads from class to tip-off. Whether you're rocking a hoodie in the student section or sporting a tee around town, your look says it loud. You're here for the wins, the energy, and the tradition.
So we're ready for a game open here, I think, right?
Locker room.
10-4.
And every fan plays a part in the hype. Let's make every day feel like game day.
Locally grown, Blue Raider proud. This is Jonathan Harmon with the J. Harmon Home Team. As an MTSU alumnus and lifelong Rutherford County resident, I bring the heart of a teacher, the grit of a Blue Raider, and over 15 years of real estate experience to every client. Honest to a fault, connected to the community, and driven to serve. I don't just help you buy or sell, I help you understand every step. The J. Harmon Home Team, where real estate meets real talk.
Nothing is more expensive than a missed opportunity that could have changed your life. Maybe you're just graduating high school, or are working and need to earn a degree to advance your career. Or you aspire to be a leader, and a graduate degree can make that happen. Whether you're just starting out or retooling for the future, Middle Tennessee State University can help you get there. MTSU, the University of Opportunities.
WGNS, Murfreesboro, Smyrna, the flagship station for Blue Raider sports. From the Blue Raider Network and Van Wagner College, it's time for Middle Tennessee State University baseball. Today's game is brought to you in part by Exit Realty, Bob Lamb & Associates, and agents Brad Hopkins, Richard Lewis, Jonathan Harmon, and Chip Walters, the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, and by Middle Tennessee State University. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Blue Raider baseball.
Game 49 of the season for Blue Raider baseball about set to be underway between your Blue Raiders and the FIU Panthers. Dylan Simmons on the call, looking forward to a great night of baseball action here in Miami as the lineups are being exchanged between Jerry Myers and head coach Rich Witten of the Panthers. They've been in the batter's box for a little bit, I guess just trying to make sure that everything's clarified, having an in-depth conversation with the umpires. And you want to make sure you have all your information, obviously, in order before a game such as this one. MTSU trying to fight to clinch a spot in the CUSA tournament, which they can take a big step towards this weekend. FIU trying to play spoiler and perhaps pole vault themselves back into the CUSA tournament discussion. Blue Raiders right now are just above 9th place Sam Houston, who represents the cutoff in the CUSA tournament. They are 9-15 overall in Conference USA play, while MTSU is 10-14. So that kind of tells the story that there's a very slim margin for error as far as wins and losses go at this time of the season. Taking a look at the Conference USA baseball standings, of course, Jacksonville State still on top of the pile at 20-4 overall in conference play. Liberty bordering on the top 25 at this point, 18-6 in conference play, 35-14 overall. Dallas Baptist still a force as always. They were the team that last played FIU here in Miami, 16-8. Missouri State 16-9. Louisiana Tech is 15-9. And of course, MTSU, we talked about Liberty. They will meet the Flames at home next weekend in Murfreesboro for the final series of the regular season. Players taking the field, and we're just about set for this one to get underway. And it is the incredible Preston Prince who is on the mound for FIU to start things off here tonight. We already talked a lot about him in the pregame show, but this transfer from Rutgers has kind of been on a bit of an odyssey in his career, but it's been a good kind of journey. He obviously played at Rutgers a year ago, 14 games played with 5 games started, made his season debut against Kennesaw State with 3 scoreless innings, but he also played at Niagara Community College, and in 2024, he had 11 games started, or not community college, I should say University of Niagara, NCAA Regional versus Oklahoma State. Wanted to make sure we clarify that. He had a 4.13 ERA at Niagara with 4 scoreless innings pitched against Canisius and had 5 strikeouts as well. He was great in high school during his prep days, number 53 player in the state of New York and the number 11 southpaw in New York by Prep Baseball Report. Blue Raiders will be led off by Owen Nowak here in this top half of the first inning. He'll be followed by Tyler Minnick and Cooper Clapp. As far as the lineup goes, it's pretty standard for what you would expect for MTSU, and it looks as though that it might maintain that same stride throughout the weekend. We'll see as time goes on, but it's been pretty much set over the last few weeks and I would say a couple months or so, and that's the joy of this late portion of the season, is that you're able to get the lineup sorted through a little bit better and you have an idea of who your standard contributors are going to be. Owen Nowak will make his way to the plate, the junior out of Franksville, Wisconsin, with a .331 average on the season, top batting average on the team, 7 home runs, 58 hits, and number 3 in Conference USA in total runs. As we're just about set, FIU Middle Tennessee, game 1 here in Miami. Let's dolly. That pitch will be delivered in low by Preston Prince. Tried the fastball, and the count goes to 1-0. FIU in their all-white uniforms here this evening. Middle Tennessee with black shirts and gray pants, the traditional, Friday uniform combination. Nowak check swing. That pitch finds its way for a strike. Count evens at 1-1 on a nice fastball by Preston Prince, who's trying to make quick work of Nowak in the early going of this contest to better set up his Panthers. FIU, as we said in the pregame, coming off a season series sweep against Delaware last weekend in Newark. So you'd have to imagine that much like MTSU, they've got a little bit of a chip on their shoulder after that result. But they've played very well at home compared to how they've played on the road this season, as that fastball by Prince comes in high. Count goes to 3-1. Nowak also very good at drawing walks. He's tied for 8th in Conference USA in doing so with 34. And he might be on the verge of forcing one against Preston Prince here. Lefty versus lefty situation as well. 3-1. Another fastball. This one finds the top of the zone for a strike. And the count runs full at 3-2. So our first payoff pitch of the day will be delivered to Owen Nowak, who's going to get the better of this early exchange. Payoff pitch is in low for ball 4. And Owen Nowak will work an opening walk here in the top half of the first inning. And just like that, the Blue Raiders have a runner on base. MTSU won the Friday matchup against FIU here a couple of years ago. I was actually there for that game and on the call. So traditionally, against Rich Witten's Panthers on the road on Fridays, they've been pretty solid. Here's Tyler Minnick to the plate, another man with incredible stats already this season. He is really rounded into form in the back half of the year. Of course, got off to a hot start, but he's one of those guys that's been able to maintain his form all the way through and really hasn't seen a significant dip in production. Counts at 1-0 as that first pitch misses for Prince. Heats up a fastball, and again, it's in for a strike. Count goes to 1-1. One thing that we'll need to keep an eye on tonight is that the heat is different compared to some of the heat that MTSU has dealt with before this season. And not to say that it's not hot in other places, but there's a difference in what I'll call tropical heat and your standard southern humidity. And it's been consistently 90 degrees since MTSU landed in Fort Lauderdale yesterday. And it's obviously the same down here in Miami. Counts at 1-1. Prince of the southpaw standing in. Goes with a breaking ball here. Misses the top of the zone. Count goes to 2-1. FIU has one series win this year in Conference USA play, which was a sweep against Kennesaw State here at home. Like I said before, they've traditionally this year played much better at home than on the road, as this ball's popped up on the left side by Minnick. Third baseman chasing after it, and the catch will be made for out number 1, brought in by Cooper Rasmussen. One away here in the top half of the first inning, and that will send on Cooper Clapp for MTSU, the second baseman. Clapp, the redshirt junior out of Savannah, Tennessee, season-high 4 hits against Belmont back on April 14th, and 3 RBIs versus New Mexico State on March 27th. Cooper Clapp with a .315 batting average on the year as Prince tries to pick off back to first. Got it over to Aiden Cohall, the first baseman, but Owen Nowak able to get back in time. Nowak has stolen 8 bases this season with a 100% success rate, so probably a good idea for Prince to keep an eye on him. First pitch delivered is going to be fouled off. Count goes to 0-1 on Cooper Clapp. Another lefty batter versus lefty pitcher situation. Sometimes you like to have a southpaw starting on the mound, but when you're dealing with a lefty batter, and a lot of lefty batters in this MTSU lineup, it, not to say it completely defeats the purpose, but it does take away some of the advantage you may have otherwise. 0-1, swing and a miss, as Clapp was, looks like swinging for the fences, but couldn't quite catch it. Count goes to 0-2, another great fastball from Preston Prince. FIU this year at home is 14-15 overall. They played Florida Gulf Coast here back on Wednesday, as that's a swing and a miss for Cooper Clapp. That'll strike him out. Preston Prince, we talked about it. He is the master of the strikeout for FIU, and he gets a strikeout swinging on Cooper Clapp, who couldn't quite get underneath that ball. That sends up the cleanup man, Dean O'Neill. And despite a little bit of a lull, by his standards at least, in this latter part of the season, he still holds a lot of impressive Conference USA stats relative to his competition, as there's 2 away in the top of the first. Fastball by Prince goes high. Right now, Dean O'Neill tied for 4th in the conference in RBIs, tied for 10th in total hits, and tied for 7th in home runs. And he wants to add more to his collection here this weekend. Counts at 1-0, swing and a miss. Count evens at 1-1. Few MTSU fans have made the trip down to Miami. We've got some sitting right below us here in not quite the broadcast booth, but I'll call it the broadcast area underneath the canopy out here. Appreciate FIU for providing us with a nice little area with some shade. Obviously in the heat, you don't want to deal with that even if it is late in the evening. High pitch by Prince. Count goes to 2-1. Owen Nowak still at first. O'Neill dealing with the 2-1 count. Prince will again try a throwback to first base, and not going to be able to do anything with Owen Nowak. Middle Tennessee, the number 6 team in Conference USA in batting average at 281, number 8 in total hits at 446, but 3rd in home runs at 58. That's one area that they've really excelled at. High pitch by Prince, and the count will move to 3 balls and 1 strike. Prince trying to avoid issuing his second walk of this top half of the first inning, but more importantly, trying to avoid giving up the first hit of the game. 3-1 fastball is high and tight for ball number 4, and Dean O'Neill, much like Owen Nowak before him, works a 5-pitch walk, and MTSU now with 2 aboard and 2 outs in the top half of the first inning, as we're going to see a quick meeting on the mound for the Panthers, and almost certainly this is just going to be a general conversation to get Preston Prince to lock in, as the kids would say, and keep himself in working order for what he's going to have to deal with, because he's got Lane Akers waiting for him on the other side of this meeting on the mound. And the redshirt freshman, well, there's a reason I call him Lane Akers the Raker, because he has been raking, to say the least, in this back part of the year. A .321 average. Wasn't always promised the designated hitter spot, but I'll tell you, folks, he has made the most of his opportunity and has become a bona fide superstar for MTSU. And now this superstar is looking to make the most of his chance under the bright lights in Miami, Florida. Won CUSA Player of the Week for his New Mexico State Series performance back at the end of March. Had a season-high 4 RBIs versus the Aggies on March 29th. 2 aboard for the Blue Raiders. FIU trying to turn the door on the Blue Raiders. This pitch by Prince comes in low. Count goes to 1-0. Akers will be followed by Nathan Brewer for MTSU, if he gets to see the field here in this top half of the first inning. Blue Raiders have emphasized quick starts throughout the year. In many ways, they believe it's the key to getting them where they need to be as a team in some of these games. This pitch comes in high. Count goes to 2-0. Of course, a lot of their games have been decided towards the end of the contest due to bullpen struggles and a lack of ability to score on some of these impressive bullpen pitchers in CUSA. As Prince fires in a fastball for a strike, count goes to 2-1. But they feel confident that this weekend they can turn that narrative around and deliver this team some sorely needed momentum going into the final month of regular season play in Conference USA. Akers fouls this one off on the awkward netting that overhangs the FIU baseball stadium. Count goes to 2-2. It's actually a pretty nifty design. It attaches itself to the press box, and when the ball gets in the netting, it rolls back down onto the field. So unless it comes over on the side, you're not really going to have a lot of foul ball interference with the fans. 2-2. And Preston Prince with a beautiful breaking ball to take out Lane Akers looking. He's got 2 strikeouts on the inning. And MTSU, despite putting 2 runners on base via walks, cannot score on the Panthers. Bottom of the first coming up in 1 minute's time. We'll get to see David Horn Jr. and the MTSU defense when we come back on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
Will Fraley, attorney at law, has experience you can count on. Former Blue Raider baseball player and MTSU alum Will Fraley serves Murfreesboro and the surrounding communities. Put a strong and experienced legal fighter on your case. Give Will Fraley a call and he can handle all of your legal matters, including criminal and domestic or family law. Visit willfraleylaw.com or call 615-410-7290.
When the arena lights dim for a concert, or when the crowd becomes one at a big game, you can almost feel like you're the biggest fan. But who's your biggest fan? It's the person that will get you home safely after a night of drinking. It's the person who looks out for your life to make sure you leave the stadium with someone sober. This could be a designated driver or someone who offers to get you a ride share. Because in Tennessee, fans don't let fans drive drunk. Brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, a division of the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security.
The Blue Raiders are on News Radio WGNS.
Back here on the campus of Florida International University, Dylan Simmons with you in sunny Miami. Hope you're enjoying it back in Murfreesboro. I hear that it's around 75 or so today, so pretty good conditions all things considered. The first of 3 MTSU graduation commencements also took place. Want to congratulate all the graduates from today's ceremonies, and also tomorrow, big weekend obviously back in the borough. And for some of these MTSU baseball players, they got their own graduation ceremony before they left for Miami this weekend, and we want to send our congratulations to all of them too as we wind down the academic year here in Murfreesboro. But back here in Miami, in the bottom half of the first inning, it is 0-0 between the Blue Raiders and the Panthers. MTSU put a couple runners on base in the top half of the first, but could not quite score a run on FIU. But they'll be looking to return the favor here with David Horn Jr. on the mound. The team leader in strikeouts, number 7 in the conference in strikeouts with 65 on the season. One of the best fastballs that you'll see. And he's got the task ahead of him of facing off with Samuel Fisher, or Sammy Fisher as he's known by FIU, here in this bottom half of the first inning. Fisher is a clutch hitter, to say the least. Junior out of Cali, Colombia. Played at True Classical North Academy during his prep days. And Fisher, a lefty batter, will try to take it to the righty pitcher, David Horn Jr. Fastball by Horn Jr. finds its way for a strike, and the count goes to 0-1. Samuel Fisher with a .260 average on the season, 30 RBIs, 4 home runs, and 40 total hits. Team leader in runs as well. 0-1. Breaking ball finds the zone for a strike. Count moves to 0-2. It's going to be critical for David Horn Jr. to settle in early here and get comfortable against these FIU batters. Find that zone early and often. Set yourself up well. And that's exactly what he's doing. A swing and a miss for Sammy Fisher. He strikes out swinging. And in 3 strikes on the very first batter that MTSU faces, David Horn Jr. gets a strikeout. Here comes Mario Trivella, the junior out of Caracas, Venezuela. Played at Sarasota High School and has also played at the State College of Florida. 5'11", 180. And 11 home runs, tied for the team lead with Cooper Rasmussen. Breaking ball from David Horn Jr. misses the mark. Count goes to 1-0. Trivella with a season-high 3 hits versus Sam Houston back on March 21st. Had 7 RBIs in that game as well. 4 runs versus DBU on April 25th. 1-0 pitch, and a nice strike found at the top of the zone by David Horn Jr. to bring the count to 1-1. And for all of you Ryan Gosling fans out there, that's the man that Mario Trivella would want to play him in a Pio pick, as that finds the zone for a strike. Count goes to 1-2. Another interesting fact about Travella is that he is also a tattoo artist on the side, can give people tattoos, and apparently he learned that after he had ACL surgery. 1-2, and Horn Jr. just misses on the breaking ball. Count goes to 2-2. Minnick tagged the runner just in case it was a strike. Wind is really not a factor here this afternoon in Miami, although there is a slight ocean breeze that could affect the trajectory of some of these baseballs. But slight is the apt word here. Count at 2-2. Fastball, Horn Jr. just placed it to the outside, and the count runs full. A 3-2 coming up for Mario Travella. Trying to take it to MTSU and get the first hit of the game right here. Payoff pitch on the way. Breaking ball fouled towards the FIU dugout. That's one of the first times we've seen significant contact on either side, and I'm not even talking about a fair ball, just really good contact of any kind. We have not even had a ball in play yet on either side. Both pitchers have done pretty good jobs so far. Horn Jr. looking to make it 2 strikeouts on 2 batters. Another payoff pitch. Here's a ground ball to Von Dolan, left side. He'll throw on to first, and that will be an easy 5-3 for out number 2. So there's a ball in play, and there's an out for MTSU. And here comes Cooper Rasmussen. The junior out of Temecula, California, with a .292 average on the season, 26 RBIs, 47 total hits, tied for the team lead and number 8 in CUSA in home runs, and number 2 on the team in total hits this season. Breaking ball by Horn Jr. is just missed by Rasmussen. Count moves to 0-1. Rasmussen played at Butler Community College, 52 games played a year ago, with a .372 batting average and 16 home runs. And here's a little looper down into shallow left field along the left field line for a base hit. It rolls all the way toward the left field corner, and Rasmussen's going to have a 2-out stand-up double here in the bottom half of the first inning. That was a great loop shot that just barely stayed inside the left field line, and there was nothing that Brett Von Dolan or Nathan Brewer could do about it. That will send on the cleanup man in the order, the sensational Andrew Ildefonso. The redshirt sophomore, a local guy out of Miami. Archbishop McCarthy High School is where he played his prep baseball. .267 average, 39 RBIs, 5 home runs, and 15 hits on the season for FIU. And he's got a chance to drive in Rasmussen here in this bottom half of the first inning. Got my runners tangled up there. Hopefully that's the only time that happens tonight. Ildefonso had a great game against FGCU on Wednesday. He was able to get a 3-run home run that helped propel FIU to the lead in that game, and had a brilliant throw out from right field to save a run from scoring. And he's hoping that momentum will continue into today. 0-1 pitch. Just misses to the outside by Horn Jr. FIU is supposed to play a game on Tuesday night against the crosstown Miami Hurricanes, but it was canceled due to rainy conditions over in Coral Gables. But the FGCU game went on as scheduled. Count at 1-1 for Horn Jr. Goes off speed and places it to the outside. Count moves to 2 balls and 1 strike. Middle Tennessee, of course, was supposed to play Lipscomb on Tuesday night. That game was canceled due to weather conditions that were expected to worsen. We did eventually get that rain, but it came later on in the day. But MTSU and Lipscomb took precautionary measures just to be safe. Not a bad idea. And good thing about that one, not to say that it doesn't matter as much, but it doesn't count to your conference record for either team, so it's not a do or die, we must play this game situation. And it allowed MTSU to place most all their focus this weekend onto FIU. Count at 3-1 on Ildefonso. The cleanup man in the order will just foul this one off, and that's one that he may want back because it looked high and tight. And I believe that might have been ball 4 if Ildefonso hadn't chased after it. Instead, the count's going to run full, and we'll see if FIU can deliver on a payoff pitch once again here in this bottom half of the first inning. Rasmussen eager to score from second. Blue Raiders trying to turn him away. And Horn Jr. will take a look back to second. Attempted a pickoff, but well after Rasmussen had already gotten back to second base, just heaved it to Clapp trying to avoid a balk. And now we shall truly decide this 3-2. Horn Jr. takes his time and delivers a great breaking ball for a strikeout. Able to get Ildefonso looking. That's 2 strikeouts to start the game for David Horn Jr. 2 strikeouts for both incredible pitchers on the mound tonight. We're still scoreless after 1 inning here in Miami. Back for the top of the second in 1 minute on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
The Blue Raiders are winners in the classroom, on the field, and the courts. Richard Lewis here. I want you to win in real estate also. Buying, selling, auction here in Tennessee, or along the Gulf Coast, a second home, or investing. Give me a call to help start that winning process. 615-319-9981. Oh, I'm never too busy for your referrals. Richard Lewis, Exit Realty, Bob Lamb & Associates.
Las Casas Drugs is a proud sponsor of Blue Raider Athletics, located at 4702 Las Casas Pike, just minutes from Murfreesboro. Las Casas Drugs strives to provide all of your pharmaceutical needs in that hometown atmosphere you deserve. Family-owned and operated, Las Casas Drugs offers free delivery, immunizations, drive-through window, gift shop, merchandise, and medication management programs. Come by and see how we can make a difference. And go Blue Raiders.
Rutherford County's MTSU station, News Radio WGNS.
I want to thank one of our sponsors at Atmos Energy. Atmos Energy is delighted to sponsor the Blue Raiders and fuel homes and businesses in Middle Tennessee with affordable, efficient, and reliable natural gas. For today and generations to come, natural gas is the smart choice for fueling our energy future. Big thanks to Atmos Energy and all of our sponsors as a part of Blue Raider Baseball. Scoreless through 1 inning here in Miami, Florida. Dylan Simmons with you, and we are approaching the top half of the second inning with Nathan Brewer, not number 8, number 47 tonight. And I can say on good authority it's because Nathan forgot his uniform, his black uniform, back in Murfreesboro. So hopefully Nathan doesn't mind me divulging that information. Number 6, 7, and 8 due up in the order for MTSU as Prince heaves a pitch high above the catcher, Mark Hirsch. Count goes to 1-0. Luckily for FIU, nobody on base for MTSU. Rory the Panther just passed us and gave a nice salute as he did so. Wanted to make sure I got the mascot's name right, and it is Rory the Panther, folks. 1-0 pitch. Brewer watches it go by for a strike. Count goes to 1-1. Several FIU fans in attendance tonight. Pretty good crowd here for a Friday. Of course, Miami's got a lot of entertainment options, so great to see a good crowd on hand. 1-1 pitch to Brewer, swing and a miss. And Preston Prince, after that initial slip, starting to heat up on Brewer as he brings the count to a 1-2. Brewer, the sophomore out of Murfreesboro, with a .284 average, 37 RBIs, and 30 runs on the season. Lefty batter against the lefty pitcher. That one just misses the zone for a ball. Good recognition by Brewer. Count goes to 2-2. Brewer, of course, the famous son of Mudcat Brewer. And I'd say that Nathan is making Mudcat proud with the season he's had so far. And here's a high fly ball deep to right field. It is out of here. Nathan Brewer with a solo home run shot to lead off the top half of the second. That is how you make a statement in Miami. And the Blue Raiders up 1-0 on the Panthers. Just as I said, with the season he's had, he's making Mudcat proud. I'm sure Mudcat very proud of that home run that Nathan Brewer just delivered a moment ago as he celebrates with his teammates near the Blue Raider dugout. That'll break the stalemate here in Miami in jaw-dropping fashion as that was a no-doubter toward the right field side. The corners are 325 here at the FIU baseball stadium, so if you hit it well towards the side, you've got a pretty good shot at a home run, and that's what Brewer just did. Count goes to 0-1 as Brett Von Dolan comes to the plate, trying to follow up the act we saw from Brewer a second ago. For Preston Prince, that's not a home run or not a situation he finds himself in very often. Usually pretty good at limiting the scoring for opposing sides, but Brewer, in many cases, he's an exception to the rule. 1-1, check swing by Von Dolan. First base umpire rules that is going to be ball number 2. Says that Von Dolan didn't go around. Our umpiring crew tonight at home plate, it is Lee Canizaro. Joel Parrish is the first base umpire, and Christopher Tipton is at third base. 2-1, and Von Dolan foul tip. Count goes to 2-2. Barely caught a piece of it, but couldn't push it forward. Von Dolan with a .224 average on the season, 27 RBIs, 39 total hits, and a man that has faced off against this Panther squad several times already. And here's a ground ball up the middle for a base hit. It will skip all the way into the deep portion of left center field, and it is a single with no outs for Brett Von Dolan in the top half of the second inning. All of a sudden, the Blue Raiders are rocking and rolling against Preston Prince and FIU in this top half of the second inning early. That will send on the other Brett Rogers, that is, number 8 in the order tonight for MTSU, and yet another lefty batter for Preston Prince to deal with. And we've seen already that one lefty, Nathan Brewer, has given him some trouble. There's a strike for Prince. Count goes to 0-1 as he's able to get the fastball in. And, of course, again, like I said earlier in the broadcast, even with a lefty pitcher, if you have a lefty batter in your lineup, it can take away some of that advantage, and that's one big strength that MTSU's had all season, and they have 5 lefty batters in the order once again here tonight. So that perceived opportunity for Preston Prince goes away. 1-1. Low pitch in the dirt. Count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike. And I think good news for MTSU here as well is that the heat is not nearly as pronounced as it was earlier this afternoon. To be expected, of course, since it's getting later in the evening here in Miami. But it shouldn't have as big of an impact on the stamina of these players. Of course, I am in the shade, so it's easy for me to say. As the pitch misses for Prince, count goes to 3-1. And an opportunity possibly for MTSU to draw their 3rd walk of the game right here on the Panthers. Rogers looking to cash in. 3-1 pitch, and that misses the zone for ball 4. Yet another 5-pitch walk for MTSU, and the first 3 guys in the order in the top half of the second have all reached base in their own unique way. Brewer with a solo home run, Von Dolan with a single, and Brett Rogers with a base on balls. Clay Badalak will come to the plate for MTSU, and Badalak, I've said it before, he's sneaky good, and that's because at the end of this season he has really started to pick up the pace. Not that long ago he had a 160 average. He's brought it up to 200. Shows bunt here. It's a low pitch, and it was a good job by Mark Hirsch, the catcher, to make sure that ball didn't get behind him. Count goes to 1-0. But Badalak has really picked up the pace and has shown just how good he can be when he's dialed in. We've seen a lot of that as of late. Tries to lay down a bunt again. The pitch too high from Preston Prince. And maybe some of that early confidence that Prince had against this Blue Raiders squad beginning to evaporate a little bit as we get further along in the top of the second and MTSU continues to have success. Count at 2-0 here. And again, pitches well to the inside by Prince. And the count's going to go to 3-0. If Badalak can force ball 4 here, he will load the bases for MTSU and set up well for Owen Nowak in the top of the order for the Blue Raiders. 3-0 just finds the mark for a strike. That was a needed fastball for Preston Prince. Count goes to 3-1. As a team this year, MTSU, as far as forcing walks, has been very solid. one of the top teams in the conference at doing exactly that. Pitching-wise, they're number 4 in team ERA, number 8 in strikeouts, and tied for 4th in walks allowed. So they've had strengths on both sides. It's just been the consistency that has lacked at points, as that was a foul ball. Count goes to 3-2 to Badalak. And here is a drive into right field for a base hit. That ball goes all the way towards the deep right field portions. Coming in and scoring for MTSU is Brett Von Dolan, and the Blue Raiders make it a 2-0 advantage on FIU in this top half of the second inning. Great work by Clay Badalak with an RBI single here in Miami, and the Blue Raiders continue to roll on the Panthers. Owen Nowak will come to the plate, and this tough half inning for Preston Prince continues. He just cannot buy a break against MTSU right now, as there are runners at the corners for the Blue Raiders. Rogers at third, Badalak at first. Nowak reached on a walk earlier in the game, looking for something a little more damaging here in this top half of the second against Prince. This pitch by Prince misses. Count goes to 1-0. FIU pitching-wise as a team has certainly struggled at times this year. Number 11 in CUSA and ERA, last in hits allowed and last in earned runs allowed. So the pitching has lacked at points. Here's a ground ball chopped to the right side, picked up by the second baseman, who throws on to first for the out. But it does score Brett Rogers, and Owen Nowak will add an RBI to his collection here in the top half of the second to extend the MTSU lead to 3-0. Tyler Minnick will come to the plate, as the Blue Raiders still with only one out in this top of the second, and plenty of ground to still cover on FIU to distance themselves. Tyler Minnick to the plate. Watches this pitch from Prince just miss. Count goes to 1-0. Minnick, his first time up, popped it up to third base. Caught by Cooper Rasmussen there. Here's a throwback to second, trying to see if they can do anything with Badalak. Pickoff unsuccessful. Badalak now is the lone man on base for MTSU, but in scoring position once again, and all he needs is the senior from Smyrna, Georgia, to deliver a big swing. Fastball reaches the top of the zone for a strike. Count goes to 1-1. As Prince went back to the fastball and worked it beautifully against Minnick. Tyler with a .292 average this year, 54 hits, has forced 27 walks with 9 home runs. And a low breaking ball from Prince. Count moves to 2 balls and 1 strike. MTSU has shown a lot of great patience in this game at the plate already, but also aggressiveness when they've needed it. That's been a huge asset already against Prince. But a swing and a miss here from Tyler Minnick brings the count even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Dug after that one, could not quite get a handle on it. MTSU looking for their 11th win in Conference USA so far this year. On pace to do that with the performance that they've put up in this frame so far. Pitch misses inside here from Prince, and the count runs full. 3-2, another payoff, and the Blue Raiders have been very good at those so far in this game. Can Minnick deliver? Not going to find out yet, as again it's a pickoff attempt back at second that Badalak thwarts. So we'll try the payoff pitch one more time. Tyler Minnick trying to add yet another RBI to his already impressive collection. Payoff pitch, and he just fouls it off the end of his bat. Rolls innocently to the backstop. Keeps the count full. Minnick tied for 10th in Conference USA in RBIs, and one of the best guys at getting doubles in CUSA, tied for 6th in that category. Payoff pitch, and this ball will be fouled back somewhere towards the parking lot. Thankfully, it's not right up against the stadium necessarily, so hopefully there won't be any cars impacted by that. Here we go. Payoff pitch once again in this great chess match between pitcher and batter. High chopper back towards the mound. Picked up by the catcher, thrown over the head of the first baseman, and this will bring in Clay Badalak. So it's going to be an error that brings in a run for MTSU as Badalak is able to score. Still just one out here in this top half of the second inning, and MTSU increases the lead to 4-0. Safe at first base is Minnick, and it was the catcher Mark Kirsch who went after the baseball as it went back towards the mound and ended up overthrowing Aiden Kohal, allowing Badalak to score. So the Blue Raiders' good times continue here in this top half of the second inning, and that'll bring on Cooper Clapp to the batter's box for MTSU, number 3 man in the order, as looks like Rich Witten having a conversation with the home plate umpire about something here. Not sure what the conversation is. Maybe it has to do with that last play. Lee Canizero is the home plate umpire, and he's the man talking with Witten at the moment. Probably looking for clarification on something that he didn't like. But looks like that conversation is going to come to an end. And now the home plate umpire is going to bring in the other 2 umpires, and they will discuss something here. Not sure what this could be about. Looking back at that last play, the ball clearly overthrown by Mark Hirsch, and it looked like it went towards the MTSU dugout as best we could tell from up here. Badalak went on to score. Unless there's something that we missed on the play that Rich Witten was able to catch. They are officially scoring that as a single for Tyler Minnick, and it will be a throwing error by the catcher Preston Prince that brings in Badalak for an unearned run. So that's officially how it's going to be scored. Looks like that discussion now over, and nothing's going to change significantly. Cooper Clapp will be at the plate for MTSU. Preston Prince just trying to get out of this tough frame, and it's been a tough one so far. High pitch here, count goes to 1-0. I'm sure that even in the minds of MTSU fans against this pitcher, they did not expect to have this kind of success early on, but it's exactly the kind of start they need to possibly secure a victory here tonight. That pitch comes in high, count goes to 2-0. Cooper Clapp, his first time up in the order for MTSU, struck out against Preston Prince. Count at 2-0, and Prince does deliver a strike, able to find the zone to make the count 2-1. Clapp was his first strikeout of the game. His other came against Lane Akers to end the top half of the first inning. This ball popped up, foul towards the left side, brings the count to 2-2. Cooper Clapp, though, not a guy to go down easily in the order. He's going to give you a heck of a fight no matter what takes place. And the redshirt junior looking for something special here. 2-2, and another foul ball hit towards the backstop by Clapp. Missed some time last year due to a hand injury. Appeared in 30 total games. He's been able to play all the way through so far, and hopefully will continue to do so. Former finalist for Mr. 3A baseball during his time playing high school baseball in Tennessee. Great pedigree, great baseball ability. 2-2, and this pitch just misses the mark. And we'll have a full count once again for Preston Prince. How does he deal with this payoff pitch? 3-2 coming up. Clapp at the plate. And it is high for ball number 4. So again, Preston Prince cannot solve the labyrinth that is this MTSU lineup. Runners at first and second for the Blue Raiders. Tyler Minnick will be at second with Clapp at first. Dean O'Neill will come to the plate, and as soon as we say that, FIU is going to have another meeting on the mound. There is plenty of action right now in the FIU bullpen, and it looks as though there is at least a potential for a pitching change here. Waiting for confirmation on that. Haven't seen a signal quite yet from Rich Witten. I think and now he is going to make that call for the pitching change. So Preston Prince, usually oh so impressive, has had a tough day against MTSU, and it comes to an end with an inning and a third, and his team down 4-0 to your Blue Raiders, who are rolling in Miami early. We'll be back in 1 minute for the new pitcher for the Panthers right here on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
Bring your game day style courtside with a stop at Lightning's locker room on the concourse. From bold new drops to timeless campus classics, we've got everything you need to turn heads from class to tip-off. Whether you're rocking a hoodie in the student section or sporting a tee around town, your look says it loud. You're here for the wins, the energy, and the tradition. So step up your style and your spirit, because at Lightning's locker room, the season never slows down, and every fan plays a part in the hype. Let's make every day feel like game day.
Hey Blue Raider fans, this is Brad Hopkins with Exit Realty Bob Lamb and Associates. Winning in real estate is a lot like football. Good coaching and recruiting a great team are the keys. I put together a team of lenders, inspectors, and home professionals to help you succeed. Let me coach you through this process and make sure you come out a winner. Whether you're looking to buy, sell, or invest, I am here to help you win. Visit BradHopkinsHomes.com or call 615-556-9239 to find out more.
The Blue Raiders play here. News Radio WGNS.
Back here in sunny Miami, Dylan Simmons on the call. Still in the top half of the second inning between Middle Tennessee and FIU. And the Panthers ending Preston Prince's day early after just an inning and a third of work. He ends up with 2 strikeouts, 3 earned runs given up, 4 runs total, and 4 hits, including a solo home run from Nathan Brewer that started off the top half of the second. Now in play is Trayson Cameron as the pitcher, redshirt sophomore out of Vero Beach, Florida. Played at John Carroll Catholic High School. Has 16 2/3 innings of work this season with a 10.26 ERA, a 2-3 record, and 13 strikeouts. His season high was 2 innings against Bethune-Cookman back on February 17th, and also had 2 strikeouts against the Florida Gators on February 25th. Last year, he was tied for the team lead in pitching appearances with 23, 35 2/3 with 37 strikeouts. Has somewhat had his production diminished this season, but still can offer a lot of ability from the mound. He has a cousin, Xavier Nady, who is a former MLB player, by the way. And we'll see if we get an MLB-style pedigree from Cameron as he faces off with Dean O'Neill here in the top half of the second. Still just 1 out, and runners at first and second for MTSU. Blue Raiders, of course, had the solo home run from number 47, Nathan Brewer, in the top of the second. Also an RBI single from Clay Badalak, and an error that brought in a run as well, as O'Neill will pop this one up into foul ground on the left side. Rasmussen, right in front of the FIU dugout, makes the catch for out number 2, and that is a needed break against the Blue Raiders. That will send on Lane Akers, who struck out looking his first time up. That, of course, was against Preston Prince. Now he'll get his chance against Trayson Cameron. Akers always has that potential to be explosive for the Blue Raiders, and he's trying to deliver that here as he fouls it off. Count goes to 0-1. And you can understand Rich Whitten making the decision, by the way, to bring in Cameron at this point. Already down 4-0, you do not want to risk having it cascade any further. Not to say it would be insurmountable, but I don't think you want to find yourself in that position. 0-1 by Cameron is high and tight. Count goes to 1-1 off that breaking ball. Panthers were in a similar situation against FGCU Wednesday night and almost came back to win that game after falling behind multiple runs early. Ended up losing 9-8 in a dramatic finish towards the end. Here's a chopper up the middle, and that's going to get down into center field for a base hit. Coming around for MTSU and scoring for the Blue Raiders is Tyler Minnick, and it is an RBI single for Lane Akers, the Raker. And the Blue Raiders on top 5-0 with 2 outs in the top half of the second inning. How about Lane Akers delivering the RBI single, and MTSU continues to roll against the Panthers early on. Runners at first and second still for MTSU with Akers at second and Akers at first and Clapp at second. And we go back to where the batting lineup started in this top half of the second inning as Nathan Brewer comes to the plate. Had the solo home run on Preston Prince earlier. Now against Cameron, high fly ball deep to left field, and it is out of here again. 2 for 2. Nathan Brewer. My goodness. Another home run shot, this time much more damage done. A 3-run homer on the Panthers, and MTSU firing on all cylinders in this top half of the second inning. How about 8 runs now on the Panthers here in this frame alone? One of the best offensive innings for MTSU so far this season, and the nightmare continues for FIU. That'll send on Brett Von Dolan, who already has a single in this game, which he got against Prince. And Nathan Brewer going opposite field on that home run. He's now got a home run both in left field and right field tonight. How about that? Don't see that very often. Man on a mission right now, and we'll see if Brett Von Dolan will join him. Here's a high fly ball deep to right field towards the corner. This will stay in the yard and be caught right at the warning track by Hector Candelas, and that will do it for a dramatic top half of the second inning. 8 runs scored by the Blue Raiders on 2 pitchers in this one frame, and the star of the show tonight, Nathan Brewer. He had a 2-run home run performance against FIU last year in Murfreesboro and 2 home runs in 1 inning on the Panthers here on a Friday night. Back for the bottom of the second in 1 minute, MTSU up 8-0 on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
At State Farm, when home and auto work as a team, you score and save money. I'm State Farm agent Andy Wama. Give me a call at 615-890-0850, and let's work together to win big by saving money on home and auto. With the service you get from State Farm, you might think our car insurance costs more. I'm State Farm agent Andy Wama. Give me a call at 615-890-0850, and let me show you with discounts up to 40%. You may find it even costs less.
At Middle Tennessee Electric, we see the lines that link us all, illuminating our neighborhoods, empowering our businesses, and helping us to recharge. Because we believe in the power of good energy. Whether it comes from our grids, the sun, or a kind heart. And as your family and our region continue to grow, you can trust that we'll always be there for you. Middle Tennessee Electric, bringing good energy.
WGNS, the flagship station for Blue Raider sports.
Welcome back here. Mayhem in Miami in the top half of the second inning for MTSU, but in a good way as they put up 8 runs against the FIU Panthers, and Nathan Brewer with 2 home run shots on FIU in 1 frame alone. Don't see that kind of performance every day, and right now MTSU with a big-time advantage on the Panthers. Aiden Kohal to the plate for his first at-bat of the game. But MTSU, I don't know if they've had a more dominant start all season long. Right now, well in position to take this game. Obviously, a lot of baseball yet to be played, but you'd have to assume MTSU is the heavy favorite. That may be an understatement. Horn Jr. fires in a pitch high. Count goes to 1-0. Our first time seeing Aiden Kohal at the plate tonight, working as the first baseman for FIU in this contest. Fastball by Horn Jr. finds the zone. Count evens at 1-1. Kohal, a redshirt junior out of the Bronx in New York, played at Stone Hill of the NEC, and he was top 3 in the NEC in RBIs with 60 at Stone Hill. 365 average last year, bringing his talents to Miami. Count at 1-1 on the lefty batter. Pitch is high from Horn Jr. Count goes to 2-1. 250 average this season with 30 RBIs, 3 home runs, 36 total hits. He has struck out 42 times this season. Pretty aggressive at the plate, and he delivers a fly ball out to left field, and this one is gone. Aiden Kohal delivers the 3rd home run in the second inning and the first for FIU, a solo shot over the left field wall that has put the Panthers on the scoreboard. 4th home run for Aiden Kohal, and that is a much-needed sense of relief for an FIU team that hasn't been able to buy a break so far. Kohal with the solo home run shot. And that breeze, which has been pretty small tonight for the most part, may have assisted Kohal's hit a little bit there, as it did drift towards that left field corner. That brings on the next man to the plate, Enrique Alvarez Jr., the DH for FIU. Lefty batter in the order. Count goes to 1-0. And all of a sudden, you got to ask yourself, what are we seeing here tonight in Miami? This is some sort of spectacle between these two teams. Still a 7-run lead for MTSU, and David Horn Jr. doesn't look frightened in the least as he delivers a breaking ball for a strike. Count goes to 1-1. Enrique Alvarez Jr., some of you Tennessee baseball fans out there may recognize that name. I'm not talking about the Volunteers as well. He played at Dyersburg State before he came to FIU and was a star at Dyersburg State in years past. Check swing here, high pitch. Count goes to 2-1. Last year, he had 7 games played with a 2-run home run in his first start against Merrimack at FIU. In 2024 at Dyersburg State, a .350 average, 43 RBIs, and 5 homers. And Horn Jr. delivers another high pitch, and that's ball 4. And that will send Enrique Alvarez Jr. to first base. And it's a very similar start to what MTSU had in the top of the second a few moments ago. And you all of a sudden begin to wonder if the tide is turning as Jerry Myers is out of the dugout. And he's talking to the home plate umpire. And now is going to bring his attention to David Horn Jr. We've seen a lot of meetings on the mound already for both sides. Probably a little more than you'd expect early on in this one. Lee Canizaro talked to Myers about it. Of course, Horn Jr., I think that this is simply a let's calm it down and make sure that we're where we need to be and we don't have what happened to FIU happen to us. If anyone knows that, it's Jerry Myers, considering that he watched all that go down, and David Horn Jr. did as well. So I'm sure they have that in the back of their mind, just trying to make sure they maintain some consistency here. Mark Hirsch comes to the plate, the catcher for FIU tonight. He's had a mixed bag so far in this game as he watches a breaking ball for a strike from David Horn Jr. He overthrew a ground ball that he picked up over the head of the first baseman, Aiden Kohal, and allowed a run to come in for MTSU in that top half of the second. Here's a high chopper over the head of Dean O'Neill and into right field for a base hit. FIU will have runners at first and second as it is a single with no outs for Mark Hirsch. That's a good way to gain some measure of redemption after what happened in the top half of the second for him. And that brings on the number 8 man in the order, Hector Candelas. 185 average on the season so far. Hasn't lit up the scoreboards necessarily, but he's still a trusty guy to have in right field and also a great veteran presence on this team. Graduate student out of San Juan, Puerto Rico. And he's going to deliver a chopper right to O'Neill on the right side, but it's going to be called for an out. No, actually it was a foul ball. Called by the first base umpire kind of late in the process there. I didn't see that from my vantage point, but I do have a skewed perspective from where I'm sitting at. So the count goes to 0-1. But that was a very odd interaction after the ground ball. Still runners at first and second for FIU, Alvarez Jr. and Mark Hirsch. Counted 0-1. Horn Jr. delivers with a nice fastball for a strike. Count goes to 0-2 on Candelas. Both teams hitting at .500 overall in this game. 6 for 12 is MTSU, 3 for 6 is FIU thus far in the contest. Oh, 2 pitch is grounded to the shortstop Badalak, who, well, they're going to say it was a foul ball. Or no, a hit by pitch. That was a very odd sequence of events. It was a ball that was looking as though it was in play. Badalak picked it up over in the shortstop spot, but then play just kind of stopped, and the home plate umpire ruled that was a hit by pitch. I guess what happened is it hit Candelas. He hit it off the bat, and then it got into the field of play. So the bases are juiced in a very odd fashion for FIU here. Couple of odd plays in the last little bit, but it allows Candelas to reach. No, actually, it's going to be catcher's interference. Okay, that's what they called there, catcher's interference on the 0-2. So that's why everything kind of just stopped there for a moment. Cole Cleveland to the plate. Bases loaded now for FIU. Pitch misses the inside part of the zone. Count goes to 1-0. Cole Cleveland, a man who knows all too well about having success against MTSU. In Game 3 last year, he had 2 hits with a home run and 3 RBIs to help the Panthers clinch a series win in Murfreesboro against MTSU. 2026 CUSA preseason all-conference team member and a member of the CUSA all-freshman team a season ago after a .291 average and 41 hits on the season with 5 homers. Count at 1-1, and a ball fouled back by Cole Cleveland. Count at 1 ball, 2 strikes. And what a dramatic hitting we've seen here in the second with both teams. 9 combined runs between the two. Of course, MTSU doing a lot of the heavy lifting with 8. But FIU could very quickly add to that here. Counts at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Pitch delivered by Horn Jr., and it is fouled over the left side of the field. Count at 1-2, and there's still no outs in this bottom half of the second, so opportunity is certainly knocking for FIU. Panthers were 31-27 a season ago, 23-9 at home, 13-13 in conference play. They have made the CUSA tournament the last 2 years. Trying to make it back in dramatic fashion this year. 1-2, and a swing and a miss. Cole Cleveland trying to deliver a big uppercut on David Horn Jr., and instead he catches nothing but oxygen on that strikeout swinging. 3 strikeouts now for David Horn Jr. in this game. That'll send on Sammy Fisher for the second time here tonight. Fisher, his first time up, struck out swinging on David Horn Jr. Bases still juiced for FIU. Alvarez Jr. at third, Mark Hirsch at second, Hector Candelas at first. Eager to try to add on more runs for the Panthers. Horn Jr., low pitch. That is going to be a hit by pitch. It caught Fisher barely on the right side of the body, and that will bring in a run for FIU as Alvarez Jr. will score, and Sammy Fisher makes his way over to first. It's now an 8-2 baseball game. Very rare that you see a hit by pitch deliver a run, but that's what we saw there. Horn Jr. forced that one a little too far to the inside, and Mario Trivella will be the next man up for FIU as the strangeness continues in this bottom half of the second. About 10 combined runs now. First pitch by Horn Jr. is in for a strike. Count goes to 0-1. Right now, it's all about trying to limit the damage on the Panthers if you're David Horn Jr. Don't let them gain that confidence and all of a sudden have the belief that they can get back into this game with no problem. Want to make things tough for them. 0-1 breaking ball. Found the zone. Good start here for David Horn Jr. in this count on Mario Trivella. Jr. out of Caracas, Venezuela. Of course, Venezuela won the World Baseball Classic just a couple of months ago. Mario Trivella trying to channel that spirit right now against MTSU. 0-2, and a swing and a miss. Strikeout for David Horn Jr., his second of the inning, 4th overall, and he gets another one swinging, this time on Trivella. 2 away in the bottom half of the second, and that will send on maybe the most dangerous man in the order, Cooper Rasmussen. If there's anybody that's going to possibly deliver a home run for FIU and change this game in a huge way, it would be this guy. Tied for the team lead in home runs with Trivella. Bases still juice for FIU. Horn Jr. is going to have to be careful here. Trying to keep it at a 6-run lead for MTSU. But that last strikeout was big, as that's a swing and a miss, counted 0-1. Because even if there is a fly out here, you're not going to get a run plated in by FIU because of the 2 outs. So, big strikeout to get on Trivella, one of the toughest guys theoretically in the order for the Panthers. Now trying to do the same to Rasmussen, who already has a double in this game. 0-1 pitch, high breaking ball. Count evens at 1 ball and 1 strike. Panthers 6-18 overall in Conference USA play. They've had a lot of turnover in the roster from this year to last year. Welcomed in 29 new players at the start of the year, just 14 letter winners return from a year ago. So you talk about roster turnover, FIU knows it. 1-1, fouled by Rasmussen, right into the batter's box. Count goes to 1-2. It's a very new team, and I put parentheses on new when it comes to this Panther squad. Of course, you see a lot more of that with the transfer portal and everything that happens in college athletics today with roster turnover. But it's still wild to see just how dramatically different this roster is from the one that played MTSU in Murfreesboro a season ago. 1-2 pitch, and the umpire rules off that last pitch. Instead, he's going to call a pitch clock violation on David Horn Jr., and that will give an automatic ball to FIU. Count goes to 2-2, so he didn't beat the pitch clock. It's one of the first times we've seen a pitch clock violation all year for MTSU. All kinds of weird stuff happening in the second inning, folks. Just stuff you wouldn't expect to see in a Friday night matchup. Count at 2-2. Here's a ground ball to third. Von Dolan picks it up, throws on to first, and that will be a 5-3 that will strand 3 runners on base for FIU. Panthers still able to do some damage. 2 runs put up on the Blue Raiders in the bottom of the second, including a solo home run shot from Aiden Kohal. But MTSU still up by 6. As we move on to the top half of the third inning, the MTSU Bats will be back up in 1 minute when we return on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
Hey folks, it's Chip Walters from Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates, helping Middle Tennessee make smart moves in a fast-moving market. Whether you're buying, selling, or just exploring your options, you deserve someone who knows this community and treats your goals like their own. From first-timers to long-time homeowners, I'm here to guide you with clarity, confidence, and a steady hand. When you're ready to make the next move, start with someone you trust. Visit choosechip.net and let's make your 2026 move the right move.
Las Casas Drugs is a proud sponsor of Blue Raider Athletics, located at 4702 Las Casas Pike, just minutes from Murfreesboro. Las Casas Drugs strives to provide all of your pharmaceutical needs in that hometown atmosphere you deserve. Family-owned and operated, Las Casas Drugs offers free delivery, immunizations, drive-through window, gift shop, merchandise, and medication management programs. Come by and see how we can make a difference. And go Blue Raiders.
You're listening to MTSU Sports on WGNS.
Back here at the FIU Baseball Stadium, Dylan Simmons with you on this Friday night of college baseball action. Blue Raider Baseball on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner, and it is an 8-2 ball game. Yes, that is the real score after 2 innings here in Miami tonight. MTSU putting up 8 runs in the top half of the second inning. 4 of those courtesy of Nathan Brewer with a couple of home run shots on the Panthers in that frame alone. Have to probably look up some history to find out the last time that a player did that for MTSU. I'm sure it's been a bit. But at the plate for the Blue Raiders to start off this top of the third is Brett Rogers, 8-9-1 due up in the order against Trayson Cameron, who is still on the mound, trying to limit the damage against MTSU, and delivers a strike here to bring the count to 0-1. What we saw on the top of the second was basically FIU getting punched in the mouth, and the thing about it is they still have an opportunity to stand in and deliver a comeback against MTSU, and that's what the Blue Raiders have to keep in mind. Here's a chopper to short, picked up by Trivella, throws on to first, and the throw was too high. Kohal had to jump up for it, and that will put a runner at first base for MTSU. Brett Rogers will reach. We'll see if that's called for a throwing error. But either way, MTSU with a runner aboard, and Clay Badalak will come to the plate for MTSU. It was an odd chopper to Trivella, handled it a bit oddly, and then the throw on to first was just too high for Kohal to deal with, and it will be an E6 that puts Rogers on first base officially. Badalak will foul this one off, watch that pitch go by. Count goes to 1-0. thought I saw the ball being fouled. I think I saw a bird instead. There's all kinds of fun creatures here in Miami. Saw an iguana earlier this morning and a lizard. Also some ibises. It's chocked full of fascinating wildlife. And I'm not trying to turn this into a Planet Earth documentary, but there's a lot of cool stuff down here is all I'll say. Get the chance to come to Miami, do so. Count at 2-0. Badalack already with an RBI single in this game. Try to bunt, but watch the pitch go by, and the count goes to 2-1 off a strike. 3 combined errors already in this contest. 2 from FIU, 1 from Middle Tennessee. Badalack, the 9-hole hitter, trying to send Brett Rogers all the way to home plate. Throw back to first. Rogers able to get back to the bag relatively quickly. FIU statistically is the number 9 fielding team in Conference USA, and they cannot allow themselves to make more mistakes or it'll allow MTSU to feast. Runner goes, swing and a miss. Here's the throw to second, and out at second base is Rogers. A great throw from Mark Kirsch, and Rogers will be the first out here in this top half of the third inning. And on top of all that, Badalack swung and missed at that pitch, so that should bring it to an even 2-2 count. Excuse me, folks. And Rogers took off. I don't blame him for doing so, but I think he underestimated the arm that Hirsch had. And when that pitch was coming in, here's a looper foul to the left of the third base line by Badalack. Count stays at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Can understand Rogers being aggressive in that situation, but unfortunately, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose in that situation. And a strikeout looking here on a fastball from Trayson Cameron. Takes care of Clay Badalack. 2 away just like that here in this top half of the third inning. Brings us back to the top of the order, and Owen Nowak, officially 0 for 1 today. Reached on a walk back in the first. Rounded out to second base in the second inning, but did deliver an RBI on that swing. And now with 2 outs here in the top of the third, nobody on base. Here's a chopper to second, all the way towards center field. The throwback is going to be off the bag, and that will allow Nowak to make it to first base. I would imagine they'll call that an infield single for MTSU, and a great job by Nowak to hit that ball back up towards the middle. It was delivered towards the second baseman, Fisher, but there was no way that he was going to be able to turn around and get that thing back to first with the awkward position he was in, so Nowak reaches on a single. Tyler Minnick now to the plate. Already has a single in this contest and popped one up to third his first time up. There's a strike from Trayson Cameron, counted 0-1. Of course, talked to Nowak in the pregame, and he talked about the attitude that this team had and focusing on this weekend, not lingering on the past. And he and the rest of the team have played like it so far. They have looked very impressive. Here's a ground ball fouled towards the Panthers dugout. Count goes to 0-2 for Minnick. And that's the kind of attitude that you have to have in this long season of baseball. There are a lot of games that are played, and you're going to win a lot of series, but you're going to lose some series too. And it's going to be a big test of your mental fortitude, but if you can overcome it, it'll be big. Here's a ground ball delivered through the left side for a base hit, right past the diving glove of Mario Trevella, and it will be a single for Tyler Minnick on the left side that puts 2 runners aboard for MTSU. Owen Nowak is now at second with Minnick at first, and that will bring on Cooper Clapp for MTSU. Clapp 0 for 1 so far on the day. Has scored a run, reached on a walk back in the second, struck out swinging in the first against Preston Prince. Now dealing with Trayson Cameron here in the top of the third, and this pitch is delivered in low. Count goes to 1-0. If FIU can shut out MTSU in this top of the third, I think all things considered, that would be a win, considering not just the 2 runners on base, but what happened in the top of the second not all that long ago. Just trying to slow down this MTSU batting core. Here's a high chopper delivered to the right side, picked up by the second baseman. Throws on to first for out number 3. Aiden Kohal and Sam Fisher link up for the out, and that'll bring us to the bottom half of the third. MTSU puts 2 runners aboard on 2 singles from Owen Nowak and Tyler Minnick, but cannot score a run. And the score remains 8-2. Blue Raiders on top of the Panthers. Back for the bottom of the third in 1 minute on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
Bring your game day style courtside with a stop at Lightning's locker room on the concourse. From bold new drops to timeless campus classics, we've got everything you need to turn heads from class to tip-off. Whether you're rocking a hoodie in the student section or sporting a tee around town, your look says it loud. You're here for the wins, the energy, and the tradition. So step up your style and your spirit, because at Lightning's locker room, the season never slows down, and every fan plays a part in the hype. Let's make every day feel like game day.
Locally grown, Blue Raider proud. This is Jonathan Harmon with the J. Harmon Home Team. As an MTSU alumnus and lifelong Rutherford County resident, I bring the heart of a teacher, the grit of a Blue Raider, and over 15 years of real estate experience to every client. Honest to a fault, connected to the community, and driven to serve. I don't just help you buy or sell, I help you understand every step. The J. Harmon Home Team, where real estate meets real talk.
The Blue Raiders are on News Radio WGNS.
8-2 is your score here in sunny Miami, Florida. Dylan Simmons with you in the bottom half of the third inning. While we've got a moment, want to thank our friends over at MTSU. With nearly 200 majors and concentrations for undergrads and more than 100 graduate programs, Middle Tennessee State University has something for everyone, including more than 50 online degrees. Do you want high-quality, affordable education? It's not too late to apply. Learn more at mtsu.edu. FIU Bats are back up with Andrew Ildefonso against David Horn Jr. Number 4 in the order, 4, 5, and 6 due up for FIU. MTSU did give up a couple of runs in the bottom half of the second not that long ago. One of those on a home run from Aiden Kohal, who will be next up in the order against Horn Jr. And here's a fly ball out to right center field towards the gap, but the catch will be made by Brett Rogers, who did a really nice job of locating that one quickly. That's not often a place you'd see the right fielder in certain circumstances, but it's almost as if Rogers had a sixth sense for that and was able to get the out. So Ildefonso is retired on that fly out, one away in the bottom of the third, and that'll send on Aiden Kohal. Already a solo home run shot in this contest. Delivered one over the left field wall in the bottom half of the second, opposite field home run. Nathan Brewer already 2 homers in this game, both in the top of the second. So 3 total homers on both sides, and that's one thing that both of these teams are exceptional at. MTSU number 3 in the conference in home runs, FIU number 4. This pitch in for a strike. Count it, or excuse me. Yes, it is in for a strike. Count goes to 1-1. Scoreboard threw me off there. Apologies for that, folks. But we knew coming in that home runs probably wouldn't be a rarity in this series, and that's what we're seeing so far. And the crazy thing is, we're not even a third of the way through this contest. There is still a lot of room for more homers to be brought in this game, and what's already been a wild one here on this Friday night. Count at 2-1 to Kohal. And David Horn Jr., great fastball. He's been getting better and better at that throughout this game as time's gone on, and is really starting to settle in on these FIU bats. Going to have a chance for what would be his 5th strikeout of the game right here. Not going to get it yet. High and outside for ball 3. Sunset about to overtake the ballpark here in Miami. Of course, if you know anything about Miami sunsets, they are sensational. Payoff pitch. And speaking of sensational, David Horton Jr., another brilliant breaking ball for the strikeout on Aiden Kohal. There will be no home run theatrics this time for the Panthers. 2 away in the bottom half of the third. 5 strikeouts for David Horn Jr. and Enrique Alvarez Jr., the designated hitter, comes to the plate for FIU. Mentioned it before, but MTSU, the number 4 team in the conference in team ERA, at 5.12, as Alvarez Jr. blisters one deep into left center field. It will be back towards the wall and be caught by Owen Nowak for out number 3. He had to race after that one, look for a second like it might have a chance to leave the ballpark, but Alvarez Jr. just couldn't get enough underneath it. So that'll end the third inning. FIU almost able to change the scoreboard, but MTSU holding strong and keeping the score at 8-2. Back for the top of the fourth in 1 minute on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
Nothing is more expensive than a missed opportunity that could have changed your life. Maybe you're just graduating high school or are working and need to earn a degree to advance your career. Or you aspire to be a leader, and a graduate degree can make that happen. Whether you're just starting out or retooling for the future, Middle Tennessee State University can help you get there. MTSU, the University of Opportunities.
Will Fraley, attorney at law, has experience you can count on. Former Blue Raider baseball player and MTSU alum Will Fraley serves Murfreesboro and the surrounding communities. Put a strong and experienced legal fighter on your case. Give Will Fraley a call and he can handle all of your legal matters, including criminal and domestic or family law. Visit willfraleylaw.com or call 615-410-7290.
Rutherford County's MTSU station, News Radio WGNS.
Welcome back to the FIU Baseball Stadium. Dylan Simmons is with you here on this Friday night in Miami, Florida. Conference USA baseball action between the FIU Panthers and your Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders. High-scoring affair so far with MTSU on top of FIU by a score of 8-2, chasing win number 24 on the season and their second road win against a Conference USA opponent this year. Also trying to break a winless streak in Conference Road Series that dates back to 2024 against Jacksonville State. But it was about this time 2 years ago that MTSU got that series win over the Gamecocks, and they are hoping to find that form once again against Trayson Cameron and the Panthers. Dean O'Neill to the plate, number 4 man in the order to lead off this top of the fourth. This pitch is high and tight from Cameron. Count goes to 1-0. Cameron now at 1 2/3 innings, so he surpassed what Preston Prince started with. Man who initiated a lot of the runs being scored for MTSU with some troubles on the mound. Count at 2-0 here. Dean O'Neill still searching for that first knock of the day. Reached on a walk back in the first inning, but popped it up on the third base side and into foul ground in the second inning. Count at 3-0 here. Could reach on a walk for the second time today if he's able to fool Trayson Cameron on this 3-0. That pitch does find the zone. Nice fastball from Cameron right down the alley to bring the count to 3-1. Dean O'Neill, the senior out of Westchester, Pennsylvania, will deliver a ground ball up the middle, picked up by the second baseman who throws on to first, and that will be out number 1. Samuel Fisher able to get it to Aiden Cohall for yet another 4-3, and that'll bring on Lane Akers, the Raker. Already an RBI single back in the second inning, and now getting his chance in the top of the fourth against the Panthers after O'Neill's ground out. Akers did strike out looking back in the first inning against Preston Prince. One of the 2 strikeouts that Prince got in that frame. Here's a ground ball to third, picked up by Rasmussen, who throws on to first, delivered to Cohall for the out. 5-3 to take out Lane Akers, and on comes the man of the hour, Nathan Brewer. He may have forgot his black uniform back in Murfreesboro, but even if he's got a different number on, he has had the number of the FIU Panthers so far in this game. 2 home runs, 1 a 3-run homer, another a solo shot, 1 to left field, 1 to right field. Can he make it 3 for 3? If he does, I think that'll set some kind of record. Partially speaking in hyperbole there, but partially not as well. Start off 3 for 3 with 3 home runs would be probably historic in some way. 0-1 pitch here by Cameron. Of course, that's a high standard to live up to. But Brewer did get 2 home runs in the top half of the second. Brought in half the runs that MTSU scored in that inning to help set up this lead. 1-1 pitch. Brewer, ground ball right side, fouls it to the right of the bag. Count at 1-2. But he's no stranger to great performances against FIU. I mentioned earlier in the game, last year against the Panthers in Game 1, 2 home runs, 3 runs, 4 RBIs against FIU back in Murfreesboro. So he's done this before against this opponent. Now can he outdo himself tonight? 1-2 pitch by Cameron, and that was just fouled by Brewer. Barely made contact on that. Trayson Cameron doing what FIU's been hoping for and looking for all game, and that's trying to slow down this MTSU lineup. Couldn't do it early on, but they've had more success towards the middle part of the game. 1-2 pitch, and here's a fly ball deep to center field, back towards the wall, and gone again! 3 for 3 on home runs tonight for Nathan Brewer. Is this guy real? Nathan Brewer is lighting up the Miami skies here tonight at the FIU Baseball Stadium. A solo shot to deep center field. He's now hit one to left, to right, and center tonight. And he, with the way he's performing, may be up for some conference accolades after this contest comes to an end. Another solo home run shot, and MTSU on top 9-2. It doesn't matter what FIU does tonight. Nathan Brewer is just having his way with this team. Count at 0-1 as Brett Von Dolan is at the plate. Trayson Cameron trying to go back to that fastball. Trying to find something, anything that can work to stop MTSU, but the biggest problem is trying to stop Nathan Brewer, which they've been unable to do. 1-1 pitch. Fastball delivered for a strike. Count goes to 1-2. It's almost unfair what MTSU has been able to do tonight with Brewer. 5 RBIs and 3 home runs. Just incredible stuff. There's a strikeout looking for Trayson Cameron on Brett Von Dolan with a nice series of fastballs, but it couldn't stop Nathan Brewer. Solo home run shot into deep center field, and MTSU up 9-2 after another solo shot by Brewer. Raiders rolling here in Miami. Back for the bottom of the 4th in 1 minute on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
When the arena lights dim for a concert, or when the crowd becomes one at a big game, you can almost feel like you're the biggest fan. But who's your biggest fan? It's the person that will get you home safely after a night of drinking. It's the person who looks out for your life to make sure you leave the stadium with someone sober. This could be a designated driver or someone who offers to get you a ride share. Because in Tennessee, fans don't let fans drive drunk. Brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, a division of the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security.
The Blue Raiders are winners in the classroom, on the field, and the courts. Richard Lewis here. I want you to win in real estate also. Buying, selling, auction here in Tennessee, or along the Gulf Coast, a second home, or investing. Give me a call to help start that winning process. 615-319-9981. Oh, I'm never too busy for your referrals. Richard Lewis, Exit Realty, Bob Lamb & Associates.
The Blue Raiders play here. News Radio WGNS.
Welcome back to Miami, Florida. Dylan Simmons with you on this Friday night, and your Blue Raiders rolling against the FIU Panthers on top 9-2, and Nathan Brewer. A history-making performance here tonight. If you're just joining us, you've missed a heck of a show. 3 home runs already. Yes, 3 home runs against the Panthers in just 3.5 innings. And he's helped the Blue Raiders to this 9-2 advantage on FIU. And MTSU hoping to keep that going. David Horn Jr. has pitched 3 solid innings so far. A couple earned runs given up, but no worse for wear as far as MTSU's lead goes. Mark Hirsch at the plate, the number 7 man in the order, trying to light a fire for FIU here tonight. We knew the Panthers had struggled with pitching this season, but this is something other than that. This is not just struggling with pitching. This is a guy who is not going to be denied, and that's the kind of mood Nathan Brewer's in. I'll call it, to give it a term, the Dale Earnhardt mood. Count goes to 1-1. When you're just bent on getting somewhere and doing something, and you aren't going to let anything stand in your way. That's the way Nathan Brewer's playing tonight. Here's a ground ball delivered to short, picked up by Badalak, throws on to first, and O'Neal grabs it for a 6-3 on Mark Hirsch. One away here in the bottom half of the fourth inning. That'll send on Hector Candelas, who reached on a hit by pitch his last time up, on catcher's interference his last time up. Still had it marked down as a hit by pitch, which I mistakenly did earlier. So catcher's interference brought Candelas to first earlier. Again, it's such a rare call that you don't often account for it. David Horn Jr., pretty solid start to this game already. And his breaking ball has not gone away in the slightest. Count goes to 0-1. Doesn't necessarily have to go 7 or 8 innings tonight, but if he's able to keep on keeping on as he's done for the majority of this contest, I don't see any reason to take him out for a while. Another great breaking ball. Count goes to 0-2. And David is one of those guys that he sometimes gets better as the game goes on. Some guys are able to dominate early and kind of lose their stuff, but really David Horn Jr. is not one of those guys. 0-2 pitch. Here's a line shot into shallow right field for a base hit. And Hector Candelas with a 1-out single for the Panthers. So that'll be the second time that he's reached base tonight. Cole Cleveland, the number 9 man in the order, will come to the plate. And of course, Cole Cleveland, we talked about his success last year against MTSU earlier in this contest. Sophomore out of Delray Beach, Florida. He's also got a great family lineage. His father, Casey, was a top college men's tennis player for the North Florida Ospreys and was recently inducted into the North Florida Hall of Fame, as that's going to be a liner into right field for a base hit that rolls all the way down the right field line into the right field corner. Coming around is Candelas, and he's going to score. It's going to be an RBI triple for Cole Cleveland. What a shot for Cole Cleveland deep on the right side of the field, and FIU makes it a 9-3 baseball game. Their first run scored since the bottom half of the second inning. We've seen hits of all kinds now. Singles, doubles, triples, several home runs. It's all up for grabs tonight. That'll send up Sammy Fisher to the plate, who brought in a run on a hit by pitch his last time up. Struck out swinging in his first at-bat, against David Horn Jr. Breaking ball for a strike. Count moves to 0-1. So I think what that shows for FIU is that they're not going to be deterred. Even though they're down a lot, they've dealt with this before, and they've been able to overcome it in some respects. They want to have that happen again against MTSU, so the Blue Raiders cannot afford to allow FIU to get comfortable and start to work their way back. That pitch missed for Horn Jr. Count at 1-1 strike. Horn Jr. breaking ball, and it's too high and outside for ball number 2. Cole Cleveland just 90 feet away from scoring. That's another element that you got to keep in mind if you're Horn Jr. Not one to often miss the catcher, but just got to be safe in that situation. 2-1 pitch. Great breaking ball from David Horn Jr. He has really emphasized that breaking ball in this middle part of the game. Kind of was relying on the fastball earlier, but, and this is just me spitballing, but I feel as though he kind of has seen the effectiveness of that breaking ball and has adjusted to it as time's gone on and used it to his advantage. 2 balls, 2 strikes, another breaking ball, and that, is it a fair ball or foul? It is foul. Fouled off the home plate by Sammy Fisher. Count will stay at 2-2. Fisher played in 20 games last year before coming down with a season-ending injury. 10 hits, 7 RBIs, and 3 doubles. He did have an RBI against MTSU last year. 2-run single, to be specific, on March 17th. Count at 2-2 here. 1 away. And another foul ball by Sammy Fisher to keep the count even. Just to clarify, Fisher had a pair of runs with a double against MTSU on March 15th, with a 2-run single coming on March 17th in that series, just to make sure that there's no confusion. Count at 2-2 here. Horn Jr. looking for strikeout number 6. taking his time, goes back to the fastball and placed it high and outside for ball 3. Not the first time we've seen a payoff pitch tonight, but this one could be of special importance, trying to limit any more runs from coming in the bottom of the 4th. Payoff pitch at 3-2 coming up. Horn Jr., and he missed the zone. Could not quite fit it in, and that will be a walk drawn by Sammy Fisher in this bottom of the 4th. Runners at the corners for FIU with 1 out, and that will bring on Mario Trivella.
To the plate, the shortstop, number 26, Mario Trivella.
So Trivella already tonight has grounded out to third and struck out swinging. Not a lot of success at the plate. 0 for 2 so far. Do have an update on that Nathan Brewer stat line. Of course, the 3 home runs and 3 at-bats so far in this contest. As this is going to be a looper that gets down into left field for a base hit. And FIU's got an RBI single from Mario Trivella, who finally breaks his tough streak in this game to make the score 9-4. 2 runs plated here in the bottom half of the 4th inning for FIU. So before I had a chance to tell you about Nathan Brewer, Mario Trivella says, "Give me my time to shine," which he did exactly that, bringing in the run for the Panthers. Fisher is at second with Trivella over at first. Cooper Rasmussen will come to the plate. And FIU on the verge of maybe something special in this bottom of the 4th to change all the dynamics of this game. Horn Jr. has to be careful. Places this pitch to the outside, count at 1-0. But as I was saying, the update on the Nathan Brewer stat line, from what I've been able to tell and asking a couple of people, nobody in MTSU history has ever gone 3 for 3 to start a game with home runs. And no one in Conference USA history apparently has ever had 4 homers. So if Brewer can get 1 more home run tonight, he would set the all-time Conference USA home run record for a single game. So potential history in the making tonight, as I've said many times, for Nathan Brewer. From that stretch, I guess he's already tied the CUSA record for home runs in a game. Count at 2-1, swing and a miss from Rasmussen, and he's done it in just 3 at-bats, and all of them done in the first 4 innings. Jerry Myers, after that swing and miss, will make his way out of the dugout, wanting to be precautionary with David Horn Jr. and MTSU. Looking over towards the MTSU bullpen, there is a small bit of action over there. Knowing Coach Myers, I would expect that this is not going to be a pitching change. But he does want to gauge where his starting man is at, and if the idea of making an adjustment should be in their minds at this point. So he'll talk to Horn Jr. about it and also make sure this defense is set up for this critical bottom half of the 4th inning. This is, according to my stat guy, Willie Failer, MTSU baseball SID extraordinaire, this is the 12th time in MTSU history that there has been a 3-home run game. Brett Von Dolan was the last to do it against Western Kentucky on that magical night in 2024, which he had a couple grand slams and 10 RBIs. And now Nathan Brewer putting his name in the history books of Blue Raider baseball. Here's a fly ball down towards the gap in left center field, and it gets down for a base hit. Coming around third is Fisher, racing towards home. The throw is not going to be in time. Fisher scores, and it's an RBI single for Cooper Rasmussen. You just knew it was a matter of time before Rasmussen was able to bring in a run. That's exactly what he did. And now 3 runs in this bottom half of the 4th inning. And a 4-run advantage for MTSU. That lead not nearly as intimidating as it was a season ago, or earlier in this game, not a season ago. All of a sudden, the idea of coming back much more realistic for FIU. Andrew Ildefonso comes to the plate. 0 for 2 so far, but he's another guy that it feels like will be due at some point soon. Pops this one up on the right side of the field into foul ground. O'Neal chasing after it, and it lands toward the MTSU bullpen and out of play. Count goes to 0-1. Still just one out in this bottom half of the fourth, so the opportunity is still very much there for FIU to add more runs in this incredible Game 1 on a Friday night. Both these teams just trading heavyweight blows back and forth. You wonder who's going to blink first in this one. Or maybe the better question is who's going to stop blinking. 0-1 pitch coming up from David Horn Jr. Fastball placed in for a strike. Count goes to 0-2. Has somewhat gone away from the breaking ball that he was using effectively a moment ago to emphasize the fastball a little bit more, at least for this frame. We'll see if that serves him well against Andrew Ildefonso. 0-2 pitch. Here is a shot toward the left side that's going to bring in a run. Coming around is Travella, and he will get there in time. It's an RBI single for Andrew Ildefonso. 3 straight RBI shots for FIU, and all of a sudden it is a 3-run game in this bottom half of the fourth inning. 4 runs plated by the Panthers here in this frame alone. Aiden Kohal will come to the plate. And all of a sudden for MTSU, this is getting a little bit more stressful than it was a moment ago. I would imagine that David Horn Jr.'s time on the mound may be short right now. My guess is Jerry Myers is going to try to see if he can make it through this frame and then maybe bring in that substitute in the bottom half of the fifth. Right now, all options have to be on the table with the lead slowly beginning to vanish for MTSU. Still runners at first and second. 1-0. Pitch delivered low by Horn Jr. Count now at 2 balls and no strikes. Rasmussen is at second. Andrew Ildefonso at first after his RBI single. 3 straight RBI singles from Travella, Rasmussen, and Ildefonso. Now Kohal, who already has a solo home run, at the plate with a 2-0 count. 2-0 pitch on the way, and that is a swing and a miss for Kohal. Count goes to 2-1. David Horn Jr. trying to recover in what's been a tough frame against these Panthers in the bottom half of the fourth. Still trying to do as best he can against this FIU squad. 1-1 pitch and a swing and a miss. That's more like it for David Horn Jr., and he's gone back to that breaking ball in this at-bat against Kohal. Seems as though he uses it a lot more toward the bottom part of the lineup than he does the top, and has had more success statistically against this bottom part as well. 1-2 pitch, breaking ball, chopper to the right side, picked up by O'Neill, throws to second for 1 out, throw back to first, in time for the double play. That will be a 3-6-3 for MTSU. You don't see that sort of double play all the time, but that was a really nice job by O'Neill to get the ball to second to try to get the double play, and they executed it to perfection. Good job by Badalak on the throwback as well. But FIU still able to put 4 runs on the scoreboard in the bottom half of the fourth inning. And the lead for MTSU is still there, but only at 3 runs, 9-6. We'll be back for the top of the fifth in 1 minute here on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner. Don't go anywhere.
Las Casas Drugs is a proud sponsor of Blue Raider Athletics, located at 4702 Las Casas Pike, just minutes from Murfreesboro. Las Casas Drugs strives to provide all of your pharmaceutical needs in that hometown atmosphere you deserve. Family-owned and operated, Las Casas Drugs offers free delivery, immunizations, drive-through window, gift shop, merchandise, and medication management programs. Come by and see how we can make a difference. And go Blue Raiders!
Bring your game day style courtside with a stop at Lightning's locker room on the concourse. From bold new drops to timeless campus classics, we've got everything you need to turn heads from class to tip-off. Whether you're rocking a hoodie in the student section or sporting a tee around town, your look says it loud. You're here for the wins, the energy, and the tradition. So step up your style and your spirit, because at Lightning's locker room, the season never slows down, and every fan plays a part in the hype. Let's make every day feel like game day.
WGNS, the flagship station for Blue Raider sports.
Welcome back. Excuse me, sorry about that, folks. I had something stuck in my throat there that I didn't expect there for a second. back here at FIU Baseball Stadium. Dylan Simmons on the call here on this Friday night. Blue Raiders on top of the FIU Panthers by a score of 9-6. Panthers plating 4 runs in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Hopefully we won't have to deal with any more of my coughing fits again tonight. Sometimes you just get something in your throat and you don't expect it, and all of a sudden it causes a problem. So hopefully that wasn't too distracting for all you, and we move on to the top half of the 5th. MTSU trying to answer what we saw from FIU a moment ago with Brett Rogers at the plate. 8, 9, and 1 due up in the order for the Blue Raiders. Rogers, Badalak, and Owen Nowak. Rogers 0 for 1 so far tonight for MTSU. Dealing with a 1-0 count. Pops this one up on the left side. It'll be a foul ball. Count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. Blue Raiders as a team hitting 9 for 21 tonight with a .429 team average. FIU very similar, .421. It's just that MTSU's had more home runs overall. That's been the biggest change, or the biggest difference, I should say. This pitch high from Trayson Cameron, who's still on the bump. Count goes to 2-1. Has done a pretty solid job coming in for Preston Prince, who we expected to be the star of the show tonight for FIU. Low pitch here by Cameron, though. Count at 3-1. There is a very limited set of action for FIU over in their bullpen right now. Looks like they're going to lean on Cameron for at least the short-term future. 3-1, and that's delivered for a strike. Looked pretty well to the inside, and I think Rogers had the same idea. Instead, the count will go full, and a 3-2 coming up for number 13. Payoff pitch. That for sure is ball 4, high and outside, and Brett Rogers able to work an inning-opening walk for MTSU. Aboard for the second time today on a walk. He's reached in total 3 times, or excuse me, just twice. That'll send on Clay Badalak for MTSU, who struck out looking his last time up. Also has an RBI single in this game. Trying to fend off Cameron. Showed a bunt for a moment. Pitch went wide anyway. Count goes to 1-0. We have not seen a proper bunt laid down in this game as of yet on either side, as it looks like we're going to see Mark Hirsch make his way out of the batter's box to go talk to Trayson Cameron. Try to make sure that he's in the mindset that he needs to be, and that's the signal it looks like for FIU to get the bullpen stirring a little bit more. So we'll keep an eye on that developing situation, and if FIU wants to bring in another pitcher at some point soon. Cameron will have a 1-0 count coming up on Clay Badalak, who again had an RBI single in the second inning, struck out looking in the third. Now trying to do his part in his third at-bat of the day in the top of the 5th. Trying to help the Blue Raiders increase this 9-6 lead. Throw back to first on Rogers, who will make his way back after the attempted pickoff. Count at 1-0. Pitch on the way to Badalak, and here's a fly ball out to center field. Camping underneath it is Cleveland, and he'll make the catch for out number 1. Badalak not able to get enough air underneath it. And Owen Nowak will come to the plate for MTSU. Nowak 1 for 2 so far tonight. 1 hit, 1 RBI, and 2 at-bats. Struck out in the third, but did deliver an RBI single, or excuse me, grounded out in the second. Got an RBI there, got a single in the third, and reached on a walk in the first. Throw back to first on an attempted pickoff by Cameron. Trying to see what he can do with Brett Rogers. Count at 1-0. Owen Nowak, the lefty batter, always oh so dangerous when at the plate. Here's another pickoff attempted to first. Trying to keep Brett Rogers honest, who did try to steal base earlier in this game and was thrown out by Mark Hirsch, the catcher. We'll see how much he wants to play that game again. Pitch by Cameron, and it is low. It gets past Hirsch, and that will allow Rogers to take second base. The pitch was too low for Hirsch to handle, and that brief moment where he lost the ball allowed Brett Rogers to get into scoring position. That's the speediness that Rogers offers. He's one of the best base stealers, not just on the team, but in the conference with 12 this season. Has been caught stealing 5 times, including earlier tonight, but still very dangerous when given the chance. Count at 1-0. Nowak, watch the pitch go by for a strike. Good breaking ball from Trayson Cameron. Count moves even. Blue Raiders looking for win number 11 in Conference USA this season, and their second CUSA road game win this year. 1-1 pitch. Low toward the knees of Nowak. Count goes to 2-1. And of course, MTSU's heard about the road struggles all season. It's no secret. And they understand that. They grasp the issues they've had in road games this year. But they also have a firm belief in themselves, and they don't want that to define their season. And Jerry Myers has made a big point this weekend in having fun, enjoying the opportunities that are given, and just going out there and enjoying the game of baseball. Feels like that's the way MTSU's playing tonight. Count at 2-1. Low pitch again. Nowak wisely lets it by, and the count moves to 3 balls and 1 strike. One thing about Owen Nowak is you're not going to fool him on a pitch that's low or outside the zone. Good recognition at the plate always. He's a guy that more often than not is going to be able to force a walk out of you if you'll let him. And he's going to deliver a ground ball here right to the first baseman, and Aiden Kohal tags the bag for out number 2. That will advance Brett Rogers on to third. 2 away for MTSU on that unassisted second out. So Tyler Minnick will come to the plate for the Panthers. Couple of singles already in this game for MTSU. Minnick always trusty, always solid, always a guy who seems to deliver in moments such as these, as we're going to have a meeting on the mound for the Panthers. We mentioned the uptick in action in the FIU bullpen a few moments ago, and we'll see if this potentially leads to a pitching change. I doubt it at this point in time, but much like we saw with David Horn Jr. earlier, you got to make sure that you keep all options on the table and you don't overexert your pitcher and allow him to give up a couple of game-changing runs in this top half of the 5th inning to give MTSU momentum right back. All that, I'm sure, very fresh in the mind of this FIU coaching staff. And it is going to be the end of the night for Trayson Cameron after some discussion. So Cameron, pretty solid outing. Did have some trip-ups against MTSU, but for the most part, able to hold the Raiders at bay. That will send on the third pitcher in the game. We'll talk more about him and the top of the 5th when we come back in 1 minute on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
Hey, Blue Raider.
Hey, can I throw in a legal ID after this?
Exit Realty, Bob Lamb and Associates.
All right, thank you.
State is a lot like football. Good coaching and recruiting a great team are the keys. I put together a team of lenders, inspectors, and home professionals to help you succeed. Let me coach you through this process and make sure you come out a winner. Whether you're looking to buy, sell, or invest, I am here to help you win. Visit BradHopkinsHomes.com or call 615-556-9239 to find out more.
At State Farm, when home and auto work as a team, you score and save money. I'm State Farm agent Andy Wama. Give me a call at 615-890-0850 and let's work together to win big by saving money on home and auto. With the service you get from State Farm, you might think our car insurance costs more. I'm State Farm agent Andy Wama. Give me a call at 615-890-0850 and let me show you with discounts up to 40%. You may find it even costs less.
The flagship station for Middle Tennessee sports, WGNS, Murfreesboro, Smyrna. The Blue Raiders play here. You're listening to MTSU Sports on WGNS.
Top half of the 5th inning here in Miami, Florida, between Middle Tennessee and FIU. Your Blue Raiders on top of the FIU Panthers by a score of 9-6. And there's a new pitcher on the mound in this top half of the 5th inning. It is going to be Jordan Vargas, who will come in for Trayson Cameron. His night comes to an end after 3 1/3 innings pitched, 3 earned runs given up with 2 strikeouts. Vargas, a man who's had a pretty decent amount of experience in his career at FIU and as well at Miami-Dade College. 26 1/3 innings pitched this season, a 5.13 ERA for the junior, a 1-0 record. This will be appearance number 18 of the season with 21 strikeouts. Pitch on the way from Vargas is in for a strike, a swing and a miss for Tyler Minnick, who's at the plate for the Blue Raiders. He's got Brett Rogers over at third right now, trying to become the 10th run scored tonight by MTSU. Vargas 0-1, and the fastball just missed the zone a little bit to the inside. Count moves to 1-1. Vargas has a season-high 4 innings pitched with 4 strikeouts against Holy Cross back on February 22nd. 1-1 pitch by Vargas is low for ball number 2. And again, Vargas played across the town at Miami-Dade College before coming here to FIU. Appeared in 18 games last year with a 10-2 record and a 3.90 ERA. 64 2/3 innings pitched for Miami-Dade. Now trying to help that magic be brought over here in West Miami. Count at 2-1, and the fastball is high and tight for ball 3. Tyler Minnick not fooled. Already a couple singles, and now a 3-1 count to contend with here in the top half of the 5th as he looks to bring in Rogers. 3-1 pitch from Vargas. Ball 4. Too far to the inside and high on Minnick, and he'll force his first walk of the game. MTSU will have runners at the corners after that 5-pitch walk, and Cooper Clapp will come to the plate for MTSU as Jordan Vargas exchanges some signals with his catcher, Mark Hirsch. Vargas out of Hialeah, Florida, played at Miami Springs High School in the past. Of course, this is a great place when it comes to developing athletic talent, the South Florida region. A lot of great players come out of these parts as this ball's popped up by Cooper Clapp on the left side into foul ground. Rasmussen chasing after it, camps underneath it, backpedals but makes the catch for out number 3. So MTSU gets Brett Rogers all the way to third but can't bring him in, and the score remains 9-6. Raiders on top, but that lead starting to evaporate. We'll see if David Horn Jr. and MTSU can make things a little more interesting in the bottom half of the 5th on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner. Don't go anywhere.
At Middle Tennessee Electric, we see the lines that link us all, illuminating our neighborhoods, empowering our businesses, and helping us to recharge. Because we believe in the power of good energy. Whether it comes from our grids, the sun, or a kind heart. And as your family and our region continue to grow, you can trust that we'll always be there for you. Middle Tennessee Electric, bringing good energy.
Hey folks, it's Chip Walters from Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates, helping Middle Tennessee make smart moves in a fast-moving market. Whether you're buying, selling, or just exploring your options, you deserve someone who knows this community and treats your goals like their own. From first-timers to long-time homeowners, I'm here to guide you with clarity, confidence, and a steady hand. When you're ready to make the next move, start with someone you trust. Visit choosechip.net and let's make your 2026 move the right move.
The Blue Raiders are on News Radio WGNS.
While we've got a moment, want to thank our friends over at Mosick and Dr. Davis Spivey. Dr. Davis Spivey and Murfreesboro Oral Surgery and Implant Center are proud supporters of Blue Raider Athletics. For over 25 years, Dr. Spivey has provided the best oral surgical care possible to our community. Big thanks to Dr. Davis Spivey and Murfreesboro Oral Surgery and Implant Center, or as I call them, Mosick. MTSU on top of FIU by a score of 9-6 here in Miami, Florida. But the Panthers, no pun intended, have been clawing their way back into this one after a 4-run bottom half of the 4th inning a moment ago, and that'll send on Enrique Alvarez Jr. in this bottom half of the 6th. David Horn Jr. still on the bump for MTSU, but how much of a leash will Jerry Myers have in this situation as the breaking ball misses the mark? Count goes to 1-0. Horn Jr.'s 1-0 offering. Breaking ball this time a little bit lower on its trajectory, and it's placed in well as the count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. Blue Raiders, outside of that top half of the second, haven't been scoring as often as FIU. Here's a chopper to the right side, right to O'Neal, and he waves off David Horn Jr., says, I've got it, unassisted out at first to get the out on Enrique Alvarez Jr. That'll send on Mark Hirsch to the plate. The catcher so far tonight at the plate has a single in the second. He also grounded one out to the shortstop in the fourth inning. Now getting his chance in the bottom of the fifth, looking for a major contribution against Horn Jr. and MTSU. Breaking ball from Horn Jr. here. Count goes to 1-0. David Horn Jr., of course, no stranger to playing long games and pitching for a majority of the game for MTSU this season. There's a strike. Count goes to 1-1 on a nice breaking ball. At 87 pitches so far in this game, so he's definitely up there in his pitch count. Said he's a guy that doesn't usually have his stuff wear out in the middle of the game, but he's still approaching that feasible limit as this one's upstairs for ball two. No matter what, I would almost have to believe we'll see some sort of bullpen action for MTSU shortly. And a new pitcher on the mound. Count at 2-1. Here's a fly ball out to left field, and chasing after it and making the catch in front of the scoreboard is Nathan Brewer for out number 2. Nice job by Brewer to locate that baseball on the run. Made a pretty tough catch, looked fairly easy for the most part. 2 away here in this bottom half of the fifth inning. MTSU hoping that they can wrap up this frame quickly and give themselves a chance to extend their 3-run lead in the top half of the sixth inning as Hector Candelas will come to the plate for FIU. Graduate student out of San Juan, Puerto Rico. As this pitch is airmailed by Horn Jr. above Tyler Minnick. Count goes to 1-0. Hector Candelas had a season-high 2 hits with 2 RBIs against Delaware up in Newark back on the 2nd of May. 2025 CUSA All-Academic Team member as well. High IQ baseball player. Very disciplined at the plate. Watches this pitch go by, though. Count goes to 1-1. Hector Candelas, as a junior, had 9 games started with 1 home run and 10 RBIs. Very high pitch by Horn Jr. Good work by Tyler Minnick to haul that one in before it got to the backstop again. Count now at 2 balls and 1 strike for David Horn Jr. that's now above 90 pitches on the night. 2 balls, 1 strike, and this will be fouled back by Candelas. Count evens at 2-2 as the sun has set here in Miami, Florida. We'll be getting prime time action with our college baseball offering tonight. Not much of a more scenic destination, I would say, in Conference USA as far as baseball goes. Beautiful ballpark out here. 2-2. This will be fouled again by Candelas. Barely hit it past the batter's box on the left side. So we'll try the 2-2 once again. But it truly is a beautiful environment. Palm trees in the distance, great ocean breeze. Great place to play baseball, even with the heat. Count at 2-2 coming up for David Horn Jr. and MTSU. Fires in a breaking ball, and that is going to be fouled back again. Got fouled into the field of play, but bounced off the plate for Hector Candelas that time. Played at Kansas City, Kansas Community College in the past. 60 games with the club in 2023, a .429 average, 20 doubles. Second on the team with 70 RBIs. Sensational job there. Count at 2-2. Fastball from Horn Jr. And is that going to be catcher's interference again? Either way, Candelas is moving on to first base. We'll see what the call is in just a moment. It was either a hit by pitch or catcher's interference. We've already seen catcher's interference once tonight from MTSU on FIU, but Candelas was not the recipient of that. It was a hit by pitch. Caught him on the left side of the body just barely from Horn Jr. And that'll make it a 2-out situation with a runner aboard for the Panthers. Cole Cleveland to the plate, and Jerry Myers has made his way out of the dugout to go talk to David Horn Jr. And we'll see if this is truly the end for Horn Jr. here tonight. Looks as though it might be. And yes, David Horn Jr.'s night is going to come to an end for MTSU after a pretty solid performance. Not his most outstanding job of the year, but he still did have a lot of good moments tonight and hung in there through several grueling innings and has MTSU with the lead. We'll find out who the new pitcher is for the Blue Raiders in just a moment. Back here for the bottom half of the 5th inning on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner in 1 minute's time.
Las Casas Drugs is a proud sponsor of Blue Raider Athletics, located at 4702 Las Casas Pike, just minutes from Murfreesboro. Las Casas Drugs strives to provide all of your pharmaceutical needs in that hometown atmosphere you deserve. Family-owned and operated, Las Casas Drugs offers free delivery, immunizations, drive-through window, gift shop, merchandise, and medication management programs. Come by and see how we can make a difference. And go Blue Raiders!
Bring your game day style courtside with a stop at Lightning's locker room on the concourse. From bold new drops to timeless campus classics, we've got everything you need to turn heads from class to tip-off. Whether you're rocking a hoodie in the student section or sporting a tee around town, your look says it loud. You're here for the wins, the energy, and the tradition. So step up your style and your spirit, because at Lightning's locker room, the season never slows down, and every fan plays a part in the hype. Let's make every day feel like game day.
Rutherford County's MTSU station, News Radio WGNS.
New pitcher on the mound for MTSU here in this bottom half of the 5th inning with 2 outs. David Horn Jr.'s night comes to an end after 4 2/3 of work. Gave up 2 walks and 6 earned runs, 6 total runs. Ended up going for 97 total pitches in this game, but overall not a bad night worth of work. Also had 5 strikeouts in this contest. The new man on the mound for MTSU is Cole Torbett, taking over for David Horn Jr. It's a man that we've seen already several times this season. And of course, Torbett is a southpaw for MTSU. Redshirt junior out of Johnson City, Tennessee. He's been the Sunday starter the last few series, but coming in out of the bullpen here in this series, and number 35 looking to help shut down the FIU comeback attempt. 3.43 ERA on the year, a 1-1 record, 21 innings pitched, 13 strikeouts. He has given up 23 hits. Pitched against FIU last year in Game 3, 4 innings pitched, 3 hits, 3 earned runs, and 4 strikeouts against the Panthers. We'll see if he can add more strikeouts to his collection here as he faces off with Cole Cleveland. Runner at first for the Panthers with 2 outs in this situation. Torbett fires in a fastball for a strike. Count goes to 0-1. Hector Candelas currently at first after he reached on a hit by pitch against Horn Jr. a moment ago. We'll see if Torbett can make quick work of Cleveland here. 0-1 pitch, breaking ball high from Torbett. Count at 1-1. Got to talk to Cole a little bit before today's game and yesterday as we made the plane ride from Nashville. And you could tell that he was looking forward to this series and this trip in general. Always fun to play in a new environment, in a new ballpark. Low pitch here, count at 2-1. For a lot of these players, it is their first time playing against FIU on the road and going to Miami in general. And it's been cool to see how they've looked at this environment, but also stayed focused on the task at hand, and that's beating the Panthers here this weekend. 2-1 pitch. Fastball high from Cole Torbett. Count goes to 3-1. He's mixed in the fastball and breaking ball pretty often in this first batter he's faced, but so far to limited success. Cleveland trying to force a walk and make it 2 runners aboard for the Panthers. 3-1. And that's too far to the outside. Ball 4. Candelas will move to second. Cole Cleveland will be at first with a base on balls. And that means the tying run will come to the plate for FIU. We go back to the top of the order to Sammy Fisher, the second baseman. .259 average on the season, 41 hits, 34 RBIs. Does have 5 home runs with 8 doubles. Has struck out 40 times this season. Brought in a run on a hit by pitch earlier. Struck out swinging against Horn Jr. and reached on a walk in this game so far. All those against David Horn Jr., though. This his first time against Torbett. There's a strike from Cole Torbett. Count goes to 0-1 as he goes to the breaking ball to start off against Sammy Fisher. Keeping a close eye at first is Torbett. Fastball misses the zone. Count evens at 1 ball, 1 strike. And there's that mixing in we talked about. It's kind of a pattern almost if you look at it a certain way. And Torbett does it as well as anybody else. But trying to get a strikeout here. 1-1 pitch. Low here for ball 2. Torbett, of course, was injured the first part of the season. Couldn't play early on. Was brought in towards the middle part of the year and has shown out in a lot of instances. Had that 8 2/3 classic against Delaware that won him CUSA Pitcher of the Week. Looking for that kind of energy tonight. Count at 2-1. Here's a chopper over to second. Clapp is there. Throws on to first to O'Neill, and that will be out number 3. A hard-earned out 3 for MTSU. They make it a little bit dramatic in this bottom of the 5th, but still hold FIU scoreless. And our score remains 9-6. Blue Raiders on top. We'll be back for the top half of the 6th inning and the MTSU Bats in 1 minute on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
Locally grown, Blue Raider proud. This is Jonathan Harmon with the J. Harmon Home Team. As an MTSU alumnus and lifelong Rutherford County resident, I bring the heart of a teacher, the grit of a Blue Raider, and over 15 years of real estate experience to every client. Honest to a fault, connected to the community, and driven to serve. I don't just help you buy or sell, I help you understand every step. The J. Harmon Home Team, where real estate meets real talk.
Nothing is more expensive than a missed opportunity that could have changed your life. Maybe you're just graduating high school, or are working and need to earn a degree to advance your career. Or you aspire to be a leader, and a graduate degree can make that happen. Whether you're just starting out or retooling for the future, Middle Tennessee State University can help you get there. MTSU, the University of Opportunities.
The Blue Raiders play here. News Radio WGNS.
Live at the FIU Baseball Stadium tonight here in Miami, Florida. Dylan Simmons with you here in South Florida for what's been a very fun game so far between the Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders and the FIU Panthers. 9-6 is your score. MTSU trying to pick up their second CUSA road game win of the season. And if they are to do so, they're going to have to hold on against the Panthers and try to score some runs on Jordan Vargas, the man on the mound and the third pitcher in the game for the Panthers. Was subbed in the top half of the 5th inning for Trayson Cameron and is trying to take FIU the rest of the way home. He will contend with the number 4 man in the order for MTSU, Dean O'Neill, to start this top half of the 6th as the Blue Raiders look to score their first run since Nathan Brewer's solo shot in the top of the 4th. If you're just joining us, Nathan Brewer already a historic night tonight with 3 home runs in his first 3 at-bats for MTSU. As best we can tell, it's never been done in Blue Raider history before, and Brewer's not done yet tonight. 1-0 pitch. O'Neill fouls this one off. Count goes to 1-1. Dean O'Neill knows a thing or two about homers, 11 of them on the season for the senior out of Westchester, Pennsylvania. Makes his way to the Blue Raider dugout to just as bat a little bit, make the handle a little bit easier to grip. O'Neill tied for 10th in hits in Conference USA, 7th in home runs, 4th in RBIs. He's been a winner all throughout his life, and in his senior year of high school, he had a .283 average with 4 doubles and 2 homers. High school team was 23-1. Pretty solid record, I'd say. 1-1, O'Neill swing and a miss as Vargas went to the fastball and delivered it well. Count goes to 1-2. O'Neill still looking for that first hit of the night. 1-2 pitch, and that one too low on a Vargas fastball. Count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes. A lot of Conference USA ramifications hinging on this series for MTSU and for FIU for that fact. And a swing and a miss by Dean O'Neill leads to a strikeout swinging. So that will bring us to the next man in the order, Lane Akers, who grounded out to third back in the fourth, has an RBI single and a strikeout looking. But as I was saying a moment ago, this series has a lot of Conference USA ramifications for both MTSU and FIU, in fact. When you look at where they are in the standings and where they could be after this series comes to an end as the count goes to 0-1. Akers with an RBI single back in the second inning. Vargas trying to work fast. This is fouled towards the MTSU dugout. Count quickly goes to 0-2. And if MTSU wants to get on the Conference USA tournament bus, winning this series would be nothing short of a massive step forward in that direction, but you still have to take care of your job. This is fouled back by Akers, and it's going to land somewhere over the press box here at the FIU baseball stadium. Count will come up to 0-2 for Lane Akers. Redshirt freshman out of Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Local guy looking for hit number 2 on the night, and he may have it right here. A looper down into right field for a base hit. Lane Akers with a one-out single for MTSU, and the Blue Raiders do have a runner aboard here in the top half of the 6th inning. Nathan Brewer will come to the plate, and, well, that name, I would say, at least in some respects, may strike a little fear in the hearts and minds of FIU fans tonight. 3 for 3 on home runs for MTSU already. He's hit one to left, one to right, and one to center. So he's done it about every way you can do it tonight. And now he's trying to make history. If he can get one more home run, it would set a new Conference USA home run record for a single game. As best our research can tell, no one has ever hit 4 home runs in a Conference USA baseball game. And Nathan Brewer is trying to become the first man to do that. 1-0 pitch against Vargas, and he'll foul this one back. But I do wonder from a certain dynamic as Brewer gets ready to deal with this 1-1, if that adds a little bit of undue pressure or if Brewer just kind of approaches it as a routine at bat. I think you'd have to imagine that he's just looking at this as another part of his job, so to speak. He just wants to bring in another couple runs. This is fouled back again by Brewer. Even his foul shots seem to travel great distances. Count will move up to 1-2 for Nathan Brewer, who started the day with 8 home runs. He's now got 11, which ties him with Dean O'Neill for the team lead. Pretty sensational stuff. Going to deal with a 1-2 here from Jordan Vargas. And that's upstairs for ball number 2. Vargas, again, mixing in the fastball and breaking ball pretty commonly here in this at-bat, trying to make it hard on Brewer, trying to limit the damage that he can do. Akers over at first, can steal. He's done it 4 times this year. Low pitch, and that will bring it to a full count. So a 3-2 coming up for number 47. Again, we mentioned Nathan Brewer forgot his black uniform before he came down here to Miami, so that's why he's wearing 47 today. But if anything, it's been a good luck charm for him. Payoff pitch, and here's a shot down towards the gap in left center field, and it'll get down for a base hit. Coming around is Akers to third. He'll get the stop sign there, and it will be a single for Nathan Brewer. Not going to get the home run this time, but he's now 4 for 4 on the night in what is turning into a career night for this young man. He is feeling it against the Panthers. That'll send on Brett Von Dolan for the Blue Raiders. 1 for 3 so far in this contest, and now runners at the corners for MTSU. More importantly, from a singular game scenario, MTSU now has a very significant opportunity to extend the lead against this Panther squad, as Von Dolan takes a brief moment to talk with Kevin Nichols, acting as the base running coach for MTSU here. Blue Raiders with 11 total hits. here tonight. 11 for 27 with a 407 team average on FIU. And even a ball hit to the outfield would play to run with Lane Akers over at third. So Von Dolan obviously with that in mind. Tried to swing that one to the outfield, but swung and missed. Count goes to 0-1. 19 combined hits and 15 combined runs between these two teams tonight. If you're a fan of offense, this is the game for you. 0-1 pitch from Vargas. Von Dolan fouls it into the FIU dugout. Count moves to no balls and 2 strikes. Von Dolan, another local man out of Murfreesboro, entered the game with a .224 average and 5 homers. Had a season-high 5 RBIs versus UAB back on March the 7th. 0-2, and a swing and a miss for Brett Rogers, and caught in no man's land here is Brewer on the rundown. MTSU does bring a run across. Brewer moving to second, and he'll be tagged out there. That will be the final out of this top half of the 6th inning. And MTSU, that run that would have come across for the Blue Raiders with Lane Akers is going to be taken off the board as a result of that run down out. They tried the double steal and it didn't work. So it remains the run does score. My apologies. It moves to a 10-6 game here in the top of the 6th. We'll be back in 1 minute on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
Will Fraley, attorney at law, has experience you can count on. Former Blue Raider baseball player and MTSU alum Will Fraley serves Murfreesboro and the surrounding communities. Put a strong and experienced legal fighter on your case. Give Will Fraley a call and he can handle all of your legal matters, including criminal and domestic or family law. Visit willfraleylaw.com or call 615-410-7290.
When the arena lights dim for a concert, or when the crowd becomes one at a big game, you can almost feel like you're the biggest fan. But who's your biggest fan? It's the person that will get you home safely after a night of drinking. It's the person who looks out for your life to make sure you leave the stadium with someone sober. This could be a designated driver or someone who offers to get you a ride share. Because in Tennessee, fans don't let fans drive drunk. Brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, a division of the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security.
WGNS, the flagship station for Blue Raider sports.
Excuse me. Welcome back here to the FIU Baseball Stadium. Dylan Simmons on the call with you here on this Friday night. I do want to apologize for the last call in the top half of the 6th inning. Mistakenly said that run didn't count for a moment, did clarify before we went to break. But the run by Lane Akers does indeed count, so it's a 10-6 MTSU lead. Got distracted by Brewer over at second trying to steal second. It was the classic double steal. So the Blue Raiders are on top 10-6. Mario Trivella will come to the plate for FIU. Has reached on an RBI single already tonight. Has also struck out swinging. This pitch is in for a strike. Count goes to 0-1, but did want to apologize for the missed call on that run. It's not often you see a situation like that take place where a run kind of comes in a bit of a delayed fashion. Trivella fouls this one back. It's going to land out of the ballpark, and I heard the thud as it came down on the rocks out there. Count moves to 0-2 on Trivella. Does have an RBI single, which he managed back in the 4th inning. Trying to potentially start the process of scoring here in this one as he fouls this one right toward the Panthers dugout in the bottom half of the 6th. Count goes to 0-2. Colt Orbit is on the mound, and he's done a solid job so far. Struggled a little bit when he came into the game in the bottom of the 5th, but was able to shut down an FIU rally attempt. 0-2, check swing, and that is just going to be missed wide of the zone. Count goes to 1-2. MTSU trying to get a big win on a Friday night. Have a chance to clinch the series tomorrow against FIU. 1-2. Fouled off the backstop and bounced back all the way toward the Blue Raider dugout. Count will be at 1-2. MTSU scored 8 runs in the top half of the 2nd inning. They scored 2 runs since then, so it's been a little less dramatic since that top of the 2nd, but they've still maintained the lead. Here's a ball popped up and fouled back by Mario Trivella. Count will be once again at 1-2 strikes. Panthers scored 4 runs in the bottom half of the fourth with 2 in the bottom of the second. That's how they've managed their 6 so far on MTSU. Trivella swing and a miss, and Cole Torbett able to get an inning starting strikeout in the bottom half of the sixth on Mario Trivella. Not an inning starting strikeout necessarily, but a frame starting strikeout. So Trivella will be retired on strikes, and Cooper Rasmussen will come to the plate for FIU, 2 for 3 on the night. Double back in the first and a single in the fourth, an RBI single as a matter of fact. Lefty batter against the southpaw Cole Torbett. Tries a breaking ball, delivers it low. Count goes to 1-0. Cooper Rasmussen out of Temecula, California. Season high 3 hits and 3 runs versus Delaware on May 3rd. Here's a ground ball fouled to the right of the first base bag. Count will even at 1-1. These two teams will meet tomorrow at 3 o'clock Eastern, 2 Central. Make sure you tune in here on the Blue Raider Network and WGNS for that. 1:45 pregame show. High breaking ball here. Count goes to 2-1. Only question to be answered is, will MTSU be looking to even the series, or will they have a chance to clinch the series tomorrow? Going to be a very, very crucial Saturday affair. Count at 2-1. This is fouled back by Rasmussen. Count evens at 2 strikes. Rasmussen, 2 hits already in the game, a double and a single. 1 in the first, 1 in the fourth. Grounded out to third in the second. Now staring down the barrel of a 2-2 count, and Cole Torbett. Off-speed pitch low for ball number 3. So Torbett and Rasmussen will contend with a full count. Big 3-2 coming up. Can Torbett get a quick second out? Get this thing moving along. He misses the zone. That's ball 4. And Cooper Rasmussen draws a walk in the bottom of the 6th and is on base for the 3rd time in this game. He just finds unique and creative ways to get on base. That'll send on Andrew Ildefonso. Team leader in hits and at-bats, 2026 preseason All-CUSA team member, 2025 CUSA All-Freshman team member. Translation, wealth of talent. High fastball from Torbett in for a strike. Count goes to 0-1. Ildefonso played his high school ball at Archbishop McCarthy High School. Last year in Game 2 against MTSU, had 2 hits, 1 RBI, and 1 run in Murfreesboro. 0-1 pitch on the way from Torbett. Places it low for ball number 1. Count evens to 1-1 strike. Torbett getting some encouragement from the MTSU fans in attendance. Torbett, a popular guy among the Blue Raider fan base from the ones that I've talked to. Fun guy to talk to in general. 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball is going to miss the zone. Count goes to 2-1. This FIU team, they're trying to reinvigorate the program, so to speak, for this season and seasons to come. Obviously, have made the CUSA tournament the last couple of years. Here's a ground ball that gets through the third base bag and all the way to the left field corner. Racing around to third is Rasmussen. He'll get the stop sign there, and it's a big-time swing for Andrew Ildefonso with 1 out, and FIU with 2 runners aboard. Ildefonso all the way to second, with Rasmussen at third as that ball rolled through the third base side and into left field, down the left field line. Panthers with 2 runners in scoring position, and Aiden Kohal will come to the plate for the Panthers as FIU is set up in tremendous position to make this thing interesting after the Ildefonso double. Kohal, of course, has the lone home run for FIU tonight. 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th. Torbett delivers a strike on a breaking ball. Count at 0-1. Panthers now with their 9th hit of the game, and you got to give credit. They were down 8-0 at one point, but they have not quit yet on this contest, and they've stuck with it. And this is going to be a ball delivered into left field for a base hit. Rasmussen will score. Coming around, Ildefonso. He'll get there in time. And safe at first base with an RBI single is Aiden Kohal, and it is a 2-run game here in Miami. What a job by Aiden Kohal, and what a gut punch for MTSU. All of a sudden, they've got FIU right on their tails. 2-run single for Kohal. Enrique Alvarez Jr., the DH, will come to the plate, and it is a 10-8 ball game here in South Florida on this Friday night. And now, how much of a leash will Jerry Myers have with Torbett as things come a little bit more unwound? This is delivered for a strike. Count goes to 0-1. We thought we might see some scoring tonight, but I'm not sure anybody expected what we've seen here in this contest. It has been a tremendous job by the Bats all night long. 0-1 pitch, fly ball towards left field, racing after it and making the catch is Nathan Brewer on the run for out number 2. That will take out Enrique Alvarez Jr., and Mark Harris will come to the plate for the Panthers. If MTSU can end this bottom of the 6th after Mark Hirsch, you can at least say you still had the lead, and it's a 2-run advantage, but the nerves have got to be a little more tense than they were a few moments ago for this Blue Raider squad, and Jerry Myers going to make his way out of the dugout. Unfortunately, it's been too common of a sight tonight. Going to talk to Cole Torbett, who originally subbed in for David Horn Jr. Not often used as a bullpen guy this season, has been more so used as a starter, and it looks like MTSU is going to make a call to the pen. So Torbett's night, pretty brief here against FIU, gives up a couple runs in the bottom half of the 6th, and we'll find out who the new MTSU pitcher is in just a moment. Blue Raiders up by a tenuous 2 in the bottom of the 6th on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
The Blue Raiders are winners in the classroom, on the field, and the courts. Richard Lewis here. I want you to win in real estate also. Buying, selling, auction here in Tennessee, or along the Gulf Coast, a second home, or investing. Give me a call to help start that winning process. 615-319-9981. Oh, I'm never too busy for your referrals. Richard Lewis, Exit Realty, Bob Lamb & Associates.
Las Casas Drugs is a proud sponsor of Blue Raider Athletics, located at 4702 Las Casas Pike, just minutes from Murfreesboro. Las Casas Drugs strives to provide all of your pharmaceutical needs in that hometown atmosphere you deserve. Family-owned and operated, Las Casas Drugs offers free delivery, immunizations, drive-through window, gift shop, merchandise, and medication management programs. Come by and see how we can make a difference. And go Blue Raiders.
You're listening to MTSU Sports on WGNS.
Back here in the bottom half of the 6th inning in Miami, Florida. Dylan Simmons on the call here on WGNS, the Good Neighbor Network, and the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner. Cole Torbett's night has come to an end on the mound after 1 inning of work. Gave up 2 earned runs, 2 hits and 2 runs total with 1 strikeout. And that will bring on Bryant Baranek to the mound for MTSU. Baranek, senior out of Spring Hill, Tennessee, with a 3.96 ERA, 1-2 record, 38 2/3 innings pitched. This will be appearance number 17 on the season. 25 strikeouts for a guy who made 16 appearances last year with 3 games started. Had a season high 4 strikeouts against Belmont in that dramatic weekday game back on April 14th. One of the 3 road wins that MTSU has picked up this year. And now his job is to try to shut down this bottom half of the 6th and maintain what is a, like I said before the break, tenuous 2-run lead for MTSU against this hard-charging FIU Panther squad. Mark Hirsch is at the plate against Baranek with a runner at first base in Aiden Kohal after his 2-run single. And Hirsch representing the tying run for the Panthers in this bottom of the 6th. Baranek going to try a fastball to start and brings in a strike. Count goes to 0-1. 10 hits for FIU now, 11 for MTSU. 18 combined runs. And we still have 3 innings left to play. What more can happen on this dramatic Friday night? 0-1 pitch. That's a strike. Count goes to 0-2. Baranek with a couple of great fastballs on Mark Hirsch. And trying to shut down the bottom of the 6th. Can he get a strikeout right here? Going to have a chance to. but delivers the breaking ball wide. Count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Mark Hirsch did get a single back in the second inning, grounded out to short, and lined a ball out to left field in the 5th. Beranek trying to flip the script on momentum in this game. The 1-2, high and tight. Almost made contact with Hirsch. Count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes. MTSU trying to get revenge against FIU for beating them last year. Lost the series to the Panthers on the road a couple years ago. 2-2 and upstairs for ball 3. Beranek trying to heat up the fastball, but just placing it a little bit too high against Hirsch right here. And he's in danger of possibly issuing a walk with a payoff pitch coming up. 3-2. And here is a ball right back to Beranek. It makes contact with him. He throws on to first, and that will be out number 3. That's one of the oddest 1-3s you'll ever see. It hit Beranek. It looked like in the side of the body. Looks like he's all good, but that had to hurt. Ended up picking it up right where it dropped and said, hey, I'll just chuck it to O'Neill for the final out. So unorthodox, but MTSU does get the 3rd out. However, FIU 2 runs in the bottom half of the 6th inning, and they brought it to within a 2-run contest. Blue Raider Bats will try to strengthen that advantage in 1 minute on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
Bring your game day style courtside with a stop at Lightning's locker room on the concourse. From bold new drops to timeless campus classics, we've got everything you need to turn heads from class to tip-off. Whether you're rocking a hoodie in the student section or sporting a tee around town, your look says it loud. You're here for the wins, the energy, and the tradition. So step up your style and your spirit, because at Lightning's locker room, the season never slows down, and every fan plays a part in the hype. Let's make every day feel like game day.
Hey Blue Raider fans, this is Brad Hopkins with Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates. Winning in real estate is a lot like football. Good coaching and recruiting a great team are the keys. I put together a team of lenders, inspectors, and home professionals to help you succeed. Let me coach you through this process and make sure you come out a winner. Whether you're looking to buy, sell, or invest, I am here to help you win. Visit BradHopkinsHomes.com or call 615-556-9239 to find out more.
The Blue Raiders are on News Radio WGNS.
Welcome back here to Florida International University. Dylan Simmons on the call, and Middle Tennessee nursing a 2-run lead against the FIU Panthers as we approach the top half of the 7th inning. Still a lot of baseball yet to be played. However, this one is getting interesting towards the end of this contest as we get further along. While we got a moment, want to thank our friends at Raiders Rising Collective. Raiders Rising is the official NIL collective for MTSU Athletics. Raiders Rising provides student athletes from all 17 varsity teams at MTSU opportunities to earn income based on their name, image, and likeness. Follow at Raiders Rising on X and RaidersRising.com for more information on upcoming events, how to donate, become a member, and more. There is a new pitcher on the mound for the FIU Panthers here in this top half of the 7th inning. And MTSU will contend with him in just a moment with Brett Rogers. It is Cooper Foster who's on the mound for FIU. So Jordan Vargas' night comes to an end after an inning and a third of work, 2 hits, 1 earned run given up, and 2 strikeouts. And now we'll see what Cooper Foster can do from the mound against Rogers, the number 8 man in the order for MTSU. 8, 9, and 1 due up to start the top half of the 7th for this MTSU squad trying to take a win on this Friday night. Foster, the southpaw, fires in a breaking ball for a strike. Count quickly goes to 0-2. Foster is one of the better bullpen options that FIU has at their disposal. Junior out of Gilbert, Arizona. Played at Gilbert High School and Chandler Gilbert Community College. 0-2 pitch. And that is low for ball number 1 on Rogers. He has a season high of 4 innings pitched against Louisiana Tech on April 4th with 5 strikeouts. Foster with an 8.06 ERA, 22 and a third innings, 27 strikeouts, and 24 hits total given up. 1-2 for Foster, and the fastball is high. Count goes to 2-2 on Brett Rogers, who's already reached on walks twice tonight. He's also reached on an E6. Been a very odd state of affairs for Brett Rogers in this one. Officially 0 for 1, count it 2-2. And that's a strikeout looking on Brett Rogers. That is not an easy thing to do, and that was a fantastic fastball by Cooper Foster to start off this top half of the 7th inning. 1 down for the Blue Raiders. So Clay Badalak will come to the plate for MTSU as Cooper Foster gets off to a good start. Badalak flew a ball out to center field in the 5th, struck out looking in the 3rd, and delivered an RBI single in the 2nd. Fastball misses the zone. Count goes to 1-0 for Cooper Foster. Clay Badalak, kind of a silent killer. Doesn't get maybe as much attention as some of his teammates, but is a guy who can turn a game upside down at a moment's notice. There's a strike. Count goes to 1-1. Came into MTSU 3 years ago from Frontier Community College for the man out of Cincinnati, Ohio. 1-1 pitch. Kind of hesitated on the swing for a second, decided not to go for it, and that was a good decision on the breaking ball. Count now at 2-1. Badalak, one of 5 lefty batters in the order for MTSU here tonight. 2-1 coming up. Fastball delivered for a strike. Count evens at 2-2. Cooper Foster, like we said, no stranger to strikeouts, had 5 against Louisiana Tech, looking for his 2nd right here, and he'll do exactly that. Another fastball toward the top part of the zone that catches Badalak looking, and just like that, that is 2 away on the Blue Raiders in this top half of the 7th inning. To the top of the order we go, and to Owen Nowak we go. 1 hit on the night so far, a single back in the 3rd. Reached on a walk in the 1st, grounded out to 2nd in the 2nd inning. Got an RBI off of that. His 5th at-bat, 5th plate appearance, I should say, coming up. Fouls this one directly off the backstop, and it rolls all the way back into the field of play. The padding here has a bounce property, I guess. Almost like being in a trampoline park. Count now at 0-1. Owen Nowak, well-spoken guy, loves the game of baseball, came to MTSU from Wisconsin and has delivered in great situations for MTSU in the past, but having to deal with perhaps the toughest pitcher MTSU has faced tonight in Cooper Foster out of the bullpen. 1-1 pitch. Nowak with a fly ball deep to left field. It sends the left fielder back, but Ildefonso makes the catch at the warning track for out number 3, and that will do it for the top half of the 7th. A 1-2-3 inning for FIU, including 2 strikeouts for Cooper Foster, and the score remains 10-8. Stretch time in Miami. We'll be back for the bottom of the 7th in 1 minute on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
At State Farm, when home and auto work as a team, you score and save money. I'm State Farm agent Andy Wama. Give me a call at 615-890-0850, and let's work together to win big by saving money on home and auto. With the service you get from State Farm, you might think our car insurance costs more. I'm State Farm agent Andy Wama. Give me a call at 615-890-0850, and let me show you with discounts up to 40%. You may find it even costs less.
At Middle Tennessee Electric, we see the lines that link us all, illuminating our neighborhoods, empowering our businesses, and helping us to recharge. Because we believe in the power of good energy. Whether it comes from our grids, the sun, or a kind heart. And as your family and our region continue to grow, you can trust that we'll always be there for you. Middle Tennessee Electric, bringing good energy.
Rutherford County's MTSU station, News Radio WGNS.
Well, it has been some sort of baseball party tonight here in Miami, Florida, between MTSU and FIU. The final road Conference USA Series for MTSU this season, and game number 1 is at a score of 10-8, approaching the bottom half of the 7th inning. Bryant Baranek still on the mound for the Blue Raiders after subbing in the bottom half of the 6th. FIU has slowly but surely been cutting into the MTSU lead, and they now have it at a 2-run game, the closest it has been since way back toward the start of the game in the 1st inning, since it was basically 0-0. MTSU scored 8 runs in the top of the second, and it looked as though it may be over after that, but FIU has not quit, and they find themselves in position to make this a very memorable bottom half of the 7th inning against Baranek and company. Hector Candelas is at the plate, the number 8 man in the order for FIU. 1 for 1 tonight. Reached on catcher's interference in the second, a hit by pitch in the 5th, and a single in the 4th. So it's a very odd stat line. Counted 0-1, fouled back by Candelas directly into the backstop. Count works to no balls and 2 strikes. Bryant Baranek just trying to make quick work of this FIU lineup. These bats have been very effective so far tonight, which is crazy to consider, considering that FIU is statistically the number 12 or last batting team in Conference USA in batting average entering this weekend, as that's fouled into the net. Last in batting average, but you wouldn't know it with how they've played tonight. The bats have been playing well. The pitching hasn't always been there, but the scoring has been enough to keep up with this high-octane MTSU offense. 0-2 pitch from Baranek. Ground ball fouled to the right of the first base bag, keeping it at an 0-2. FIU wants win number 16 on the season and win number 7 in CUSA play. They have one CUSA series win, which came against Kennesaw State at home in a sweep against the Owls. Interesting result considering the trajectory that those two teams have had this season. But FIU's had their own road struggles. They've only won a single road game this season, 1-18 on the road, 14-15 at home. 0-2, here's a high chopper fouled by Candelas. So from that standpoint, these two teams almost mirror images of each other as far as how they play at home and on the road respectively. But MTSU right now with the lead, trying to maintain it. 0-2 pitch coming up. High breaking ball for ball number 1 from Baranek. Baseball in many ways is a marathon, not a sprint. We're seeing the results of that tonight in this game and how it's gone so far. As that's another foul ball from Candelas, who is really challenging Baranek in this at-bat, trying to force him into a mistake. Both guys giving it their all, but Candelas refusing to back down against the senior pitcher for the Blue Raiders. But he's going to have to back down there as it's a swing and a miss, and strike 3 is called. Hector Candelas did a good job hanging in against Baranek, but could not turn away that fastball, and MTSU does get the first out here in this bottom half of the 7th inning. Baranek's first strikeout. Cole Cleveland to the plate, the sophomore out of Delray Beach, Florida. Played at Calvary Christian Academy. And that's a strike for Baranek. Count goes to 0-1. Cleveland tonight got an RBI triple back in the 4th inning. Reached on a walk in the 5th and struck out in the 2nd. Been somewhat of a mixed bag, but still a very effective player who's had success against MTSU before. We talked about his father, Casey, and his exploits in men's tennis. His mother, Catherine, was also a volleyball player at Indian River State. So that pitch is low and inside for ball 2. She was 7th in the nation at one point in her division, and his sister, Caroline, is playing volleyball for USC Upstate. So it's a true sports family, and they show out. Count at 2-1, high pitch on Cleveland by Baranek, and the count goes to 3 balls and 1 strike. So obviously Cleveland with a great family pedigree for sport, and he's shown a lot of those skills so far. Pops this one up fouled. Who knows where it's going to land? Was waiting for it to crash down somewhere up here, but I think it actually left the ballpark, but not in the home run kind of way, in the foul ball kind of way. Payoff pitch coming up to Cleveland as he tries to get an answer against Baranek. 3-2 coming up as Baranek takes his time. Payoff pitch. Here's a chopper back to the mound. It goes off the glove of Baranek. Has to hurry, spins, turns, and fires the play to first base and gets the out on Cleveland. What a job by Bryant Baranek as he had to quickly make that play to get Cleveland out. It went off the top of his glove, bounced back into the infield. He had to quickly pick it up, went for a spin cycle, then turned and fired it off to first base and got it to to O'Neal for the out. So it's a very odd 1-3, but a good 1-3 nonetheless, and 2 away in the bottom half of the 7th inning. As Sammy Fisher comes to the plate, this pitch from Baranek is wide. Count goes to 1-0. There's been all sorts of those game-changing moments tonight that you look at and you say, if that had gone differently, what kind of game would we be in right now? Perhaps that was another one of those. Baranek with a breaking ball for a strike. Count goes to 1-1 on Sam Fisher. And Fisher watches the low pitch go by. Count goes to 2-1 as Baranek tried the fastball. So much on his shoulders right now as far as keeping MTSU in position. 2-1 turns into 3-1. Low into the inside. No MTSU pitcher has really been able to stop the FIU rise in this game. But Baranek's trying to do a darn good job of keeping it from keeping on that way. There's a fastball for a strike. Payoff pitch coming up. 3-2 for Bryant Baranek on Sammy Fisher. Trying to end this bottom half of the 7th with a strikeout. Baranek fastball, ground ball over to the first base side, picked up by O'Neal. He will get the unassisted out at first on Sammy Fisher, and that will do it for this bottom half of the 7th inning. Panthers get 1, 2, 3, but they made it hard on Bryant Baranek. However, he's passed the test so far. MTSU will try to add some insurance on to their 2-run lead in 1 minute on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
Hey folks, it's Chip Walters from Exit Realty Bob Lane.
Hey, can I run a legal ID on this one?
He makes smart moves in a fast...
All right, thank you.
Whether you're buying, selling, or just exploring your options, you deserve someone who knows this community and treats your goals like their own. From first-timers to long-time homeowners, I'm here to guide you with clarity, confidence, and a steady hand. When you're ready to make the next move, start with someone you trust. Visit choosechip.net and let's make your 2026 move the right move.
Las Casas Drugs is a proud sponsor of Blue Raider Athletics, located at 4702 Las Casas Pike, just minutes from Murfreesboro. Las Casas Drugs strives to provide all of your pharmaceutical needs in that hometown atmosphere you deserve. Family-owned and operated, Las Casas Drugs offers free delivery, immunizations, drive-through window, gift shop, merchandise, and medication management programs. Come by and see how we can make a difference. And go Blue Raiders.
The flagship station for Middle Tennessee sports, WGNS, Murfreesboro, Smyrna. The Blue Raiders play here. The Blue Raiders play here. News Radio, WGNS.
Well, it is a bullpen game in every sense of the word for the FIU Panthers here in Miami tonight in our first game of this 3-game series between Middle Tennessee and FIU. As it looks like Cooper Foster's night will come to an end. Had an inning of work, probably being saved for Saturday and Sunday if I had to guess. 2 strikeouts in his quick time against MTSU. But it is Enrique Sierra who is on the mound, the junior out of Plantation, Florida, with 38 innings pitched on the year, an 8.53 ERA, 2-6 record. This will be his 18th appearance. He has 33 strikeouts, and his season high was 4 2/3 against Louisiana Tech with 6 strikeouts back on April 3rd. So Enrique Sierra will take on Tyler Minnick in this top half of the 8th inning. MTSU trying to score their first run since the top of the 6th, trying to score multiple runs in an inning for the first time since the top of the 2nd. As that pitch is wide of the zone, count goes to 1-0 on Minnick. After a breaking ball from Sierra, Minnick 2 for 3 tonight for the Blue Raiders. Fastball is high, count goes to 2-0. Minnick with 2 straight singles in the 2nd and 3rd innings. Reached on a walk in the 5th. Popped one up to 3rd in the 1st. Count at 2-0. Sierra, fastball, ground ball through the left side for a base hit. It went right into the 5-6 hole for Tyler Minnick, and he gets a leadoff single to get things going in the top of the 8th for Middle Tennessee. Cooper Clapp will come to the plate, but that is certainly a significant start for MTSU in this inning. And now the number 3 man in the order, Clapp, is to the plate. MTSU desperately trying to add to their 2-run lead and secure a win in dramatic fashion on this Friday night against FIU. Sierra delivers a fastball. It's going to be a bunt laid down by Clapp. picked up by Sierra, who throws to first and did get the out on Cooper Clapp. But the sack bunt advances Minnick over to second, so obviously MTSU prioritizing scoring runs in this top of the 8th. That will bring on Dean O'Neill for the Blue Raiders, who is 0 for 3 tonight. Still looking to find that bit of magic against FIU. He's been quiet, but has reached on a walk. Got that back in the second inning. And now he's got a runner in scoring position with Tyler Minnick, trying to bring him home and get one step closer to getting a win on this Friday night. Sierra with a strike. Count goes to 0-1. Really nice fastball by Enrique Sierra there. Dean O'Neill with 48 RBIs on the season, 13 walks forced, and 60 total hits. Sierra fastball, swing and a miss for O'Neill, who was going for everything that time and could not quite get a handle of that baseball. So now the 0-2 coming up for Dean O'Neill in a big pressure situation in this top half of the 8th inning. Sierra's 0-2 on the way and to the outside. Ball 1. Dean O'Neill, despite being in a slump in this game, you just have to respect his ability. He can pop off at any time, and that's what MTSU's hoping for, that his time for this game is now. 1-2 pitch, O'Neill, that'll be a swing and a miss, and will be, no, a foul ball actually. Just caught a piece of that, it looks like. It was not a huge piece if it was. It was barely hit by O'Neill, but got enough of it to keep this in play. And a 1-2 coming up as O'Neill tries to answer with a runner at second. Excuse me. One-two pitch, high and tight. Almost caught O'Neill up towards the collarbone area. Thankfully leaned back just in the nick of time. Count goes to 2-2 on Dean O'Neill. Does he have a big shot in him? 2-2 pitch, low and outside for ball 3. May not need a big swing, as he's got a payoff pitch coming up here. Could force a walk to put 2 runners on base for MTSU if the situation calls for it. Payoff pitch coming up from Enrique Sierra, and it's a swing and a miss. O'Neill is struck out by Sierra, and that will be out number 2 here in this top half of the 8th. Lane Akers will come to the plate for MTSU. 2 for 4 on the day. Couple of singles in the 2nd and 6th innings. Struck out in the 1st. Grounded out to 3rd in the 4th. Runner aboard is Minnick at 2nd. And Lane Akers trying to bring him home. We know Akers the Raker has made big plays before late in games. Got a home run to help seal a victory over Sam Houston a couple weekends ago on April 25th. And now looking to find that magic again against FIU. 0-1 pitch coming up. Sierra make it 0-2. He has really straightened up that fastball. And all of a sudden, an 0-2 count coming up. Akers in danger of a potential strikeout from Sierra. 0-2, Akers swing and a miss. And Enrique Sierra comes in and fires in bullets for strikeouts against MTSU. 2 Ks on the Blue Raiders. 1 single from Tyler Minnick, but the score remains 10-8. Panthers trying to make this one dramatic late. Back for the bottom of the 8th, and the FIU bats in 1 minute on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
Bring your game day style courtside with a stop at Lightning's locker room on the concourse. From bold new drops to timeless campus classics, we've got everything you need to turn heads from class to tip-off. Whether you're rocking a hoodie in the student section or sporting a tee around town, your look says it loud. You're here for the wins, the energy, and the tradition. So step up your style and your spirit, because at Lightning's locker room, the season never slows down, and every fan plays a part in the hype. Let's make every day feel like game day.
Locally grown, Blue Raider proud. This is Jonathan Harmon with the J. Harmon Home Team. As an MTSU alumnus and lifelong Rutherford County resident, I bring the heart of a teacher, the grit of a Blue Raider, and over 15 years of real estate experience to every client. Honest to a fault, connected to the community, and driven to serve. I don't just help you buy or sell, I help you understand every step. The J. Harmon Home Team, where real estate meets real talk.
WGNS, the flagship station for Blue Raider sports.
Welcome back here on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner, and MTSU has gone to the bullpen once again. So Bryant Baranik's night will come to an end, and it is the incredible Gavin King who takes the mound for the Blue Raiders. And incredible is one way to describe it when it comes to Gavin King, the sophomore out of Nashville, Tennessee. 5.38 or 8.8 ERA on the season, a 3-2 record, 41 1/3 innings pitched, 58 strikeouts. He has given up 39 hits this season, but he has been on a heater as of late. He had 11 strikeouts against Western Kentucky back on May the 3rd in the final game of the series, along with the 5 innings pitched against Kennesaw State on March 13th, and he was sensational against Sam Houston in Game 2 of that series to help MTSU clinch a victory against the Bearcats. Now trying to work his magic against FIU late. And you got to like this decision, I think, if you're an MTSU fan, with what King has been able to do consistently late in games this season. So Bryant Baranik's night will come to an end after a speedy inning and a third of work for MTSU. David Horn Jr. started us off tonight with 4 2/3 innings. Cole Torbett went 1 inning. Baranik now an inning and a third, and here's Gavin King on the mound, trying to turn away the Panthers and keep them from potentially tying this game up in the bottom half of the 8th inning. Mario Trivella comes to the plate for FIU, the number 2 man in the order. The shortstop, who so far in this contest is 1 for 4 with an RBI single back in the 4th inning, but he has not met a force like Gavin King quite yet. Here's a fly ball deep to center field. Nowak trailing back. This one is out of here. Mario Trivella with a solo home run shot over the right center field wall. And the Panthers have made it a 1-run game. First pitch they see from Gavin King, they turn it up to the sky and make it a 1-run contest. Mario Trivella with the solo home run shot, and that'll bring on Cooper Rasmussen for FIU, who has reached on a walk tonight, has an RBI single and a double already for the Panthers. 10-9, a 1-run game here in the bottom half of the 8th inning. Rasmussen fouls this one into the net. Count will move to 0-1 against Gavin King. And that is a huge change of momentum for FIU in this bottom half of the 8th to all of a sudden put the Panthers in position. Gavin King hoping that that is more of a momentary lapse than anything else, but this FIU squad, they've been building this momentum all contest, and they feel as though their time is near. 1-0 delivered for a strike. Count goes to 1-1. Good recovery by Gavin King to get that strike. Cooper Rasmussen, so far on the night, 2 for 3 with a double and an RBI single in the 1st and 4th innings. Going to foul this one toward the left side, and the count goes to 1-2. Rasmussen does have a walk, which he managed in the 6th, but Gavin King, he's usually a guy, he's going to give you a strikeout or nothing else. Swing and a miss here. The ball is bounced off the plate. Throw on to first in time to O'Neal to complete the strikeout on Rasmussen, and that will lead to 1 away in this bottom half of the 8th inning. So a good strikeout here to start things off after the home run for Gavin King. Maybe a sign that that home run was more of a fluke than anything else, but only time will tell as Andrew Ildefonso comes to the plate. Ildefonso 2 for 4 so far tonight. Facing off with King for the first time. A breaking ball delivered for a strike. Count goes to 0-1. Ildefonso 2 hits, 1 RBI, and 1 run in the game 4 at-bats with a .272 average, .350 on-base percentage. Here's a foul ball. Count goes to 0-2. And wouldn't it be something if Gavin King could make quick work of FIU after a really tough start to this half inning. This ball popped up on the right side. O'Neal camping underneath it. He will make the catch on the first base path for out number 2. 2 away here in the bottom half of the 8th inning as Ildefonso is retired. Aiden Kohal will come to the plate for FIU. Kohal, 2 hits, 1 run, and 3 RBIs. Has a solo home run and a 2-run single. So far in this game, maybe the most dangerous batter that FIU has at their disposal right now with the way he's been playing. Count goes to 1-0. Gavin King just trying to keep MTSU in position with the lead for the top half of the 9th as they'll look to add some insurance. 1-0 pitch. This fastball from King comes in high. Count goes to 2-0 on Kohal. Kohal getting some encouragement from FIU fans in attendance. Another high pitch from King, and the count goes to 3-0. Kohal does represent the tying run in this contest for FIU. Panthers trying to take their 3rd straight series against MTSU. 3-0, and it's a hit-by pitch. Caught him in the right side of the body, and Kohal, the first baseman, makes his way over to first base, which will bring on Enrique Alvarez Jr. Umpires having a quick conversation about that last hit-by pitch. Looks like nothing foul in their minds, and I think most MTSU fans would certainly agree with that statement. Enrique Alvarez Jr. with 1 run scored tonight. He has 3 total at-bats, but has not managed a lot against these MTSU pitchers. He's been kind of the lone holdout as far as hitting goes, but the transfer from Dyersburg State still certainly has that ability deep inside, and like I said, when you consider his past history, he knows how to score against Tennessee college baseball teams. As Jerry Myers has a quick conversation with the home plate umpire and now will make his way over to Gavin King on the bump. We'll see what Coach Myers wants to do in this situation. Now, it's likely that we'll see King later on in the weekend, as long as this pitching stint isn't too significant. He's at 13 pitches right now. But obviously, Coach Myers feels as though this is the best move to make as far as keeping him in line and keeping his team in line for a potential win here on this Friday night. It has been a hard-fought game, an exhausting game, I would say, for both of these teams. 19 combined runs, 23 combined hits. And after a long discussion, Gavin King looks as though he is going to make his way off the bump. So Jerry Myers is going to make another call to the bullpen. And we'll see another new pitcher coming up for MTSU. Blue Raiders on top 10-9, 2 outs, bottom half of the 8th inning, trying to hold on here in Miami. Back in 1 minute on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner. Don't go anywhere.
Nothing is more expensive than a missed opportunity that could have changed your life. Maybe you're just graduating high school, or are working and need to earn a degree to advance your career. Or you aspire to be a leader, and a graduate degree can make that happen. Whether you're just starting out or retooling for the future, Middle Tennessee State University can help you get there. MTSU, the University of Opportunities.
Will Fraley, attorney at law, has experience you can count on. Former Blue Raider baseball player and MTSU alum Will Fraley serves Murfreesboro and the surrounding communities. Put a strong and experienced legal fighter on your case. Give Will Fraley a call and he can handle all of your legal matters, including criminal and domestic or family law. Visit willfraleylaw.com or call 615-410-7290.
You're listening to MTSU Sports on WGNS.
Half of the 8th inning ends up with 1 earned run, 1 walk, and 1 strikeout against the FIU Panthers. And the new pitcher on the mound, who is the 5th pitcher of the game for MTSU, John Michael Pickens. 4.46 ERA on the season, a 1-2 record, 34 1/3 innings pitched. This will be appearance number 21 for John Michael Pickens. Southpaw out of Hueytown, Alabama. Junior played at Hueytown High School, 22 strikeouts. He has a season high of 4 2/3 against Murray State, with 3 strikeouts against New Mexico State on March 29th. Transfer out of Shelton State Community College. He has brought his stuff to Murfreesboro and to MTSU this season. And right now he is being given the task of holding the FIU Panthers away from potentially tying this ball game up, with Enrique Alvarez Jr. at the plate and a runner at first after a hit by pitch in Aiden Cohal. Obviously a lot on the shoulders of John Michael Pickens here, but a lot of times pitchers of John Michael Pickens' ilk, they thrive in pressure situations such as this one, and he's going to need to be cool under fire here on a warm night in Miami, Florida, against this FIU Panthers batting order, and especially with the tying run at first base and Enrique Alvarez Jr., who's 0 for 3 tonight, seemingly due to deliver a game-changing hit against these Blue Raiders. MTSU at one point had an 8-0 lead on this FIU squad after scoring 8 runs in the top half of the second. They've had 3 home runs from Nathan Brewer tonight, as well as a single from Brewer, 4 for 4 in total. The 12th, as far as we know, 3 home run game in MTSU history. But FIU, in spite of all of that, has kept it close and clawed their way back into this game. Looks like we're going to get a pinch hitter for FIU, so after a lot of discussion, Enrique Alvarez Jr. is out. Kyle Kaler will come to the plate, righty batter, with a runner aboard at first for FIU and Aiden Cohal. We'll see what John Michael Pickens does with this pinch hitter. This pitch is going to be to the outside and low. Count goes to 1-0. Former Alabama Community College Conference Reliever of the Year. Doesn't pitch in long stints, but he's short and effective. He's kind of a sprint pitcher, if that's a comparison that makes sense. So that's foul back. Count goes to 1-1. And in this situation, with only an inning and a third left in 9 innings, you can afford to have a guy who's good in short burst be on the mound to try to finish this out. That's what John Michael Pickens is going to try to do. 1-1 pitch, low in the dirt, and it bounces off of Tyler Minnick. That will allow Cohal to move to second on that low pitch from John Michael Pickens. Count goes to 2-1. So now the tying run for FIU is in scoring position, and that makes it even more stressful possibly for John Michael Pickens and the Blue Raiders. MTSU 3-16 on the road this season, trying to get that elusive 4th win on the road and their 2nd win in CUSA play on the road. Count at 2-1 to Kaler. High fastball for Pickens, misses the zone. Count moves to 3-1. All right, so a 3-1 pitch coming up, and you can feel the intensity and pressure mounting on John Michael Pickens in this situation as he tries to control the damage that the Panthers are looking to do. 3-1, swing and a miss, and that was a big strike needed for John Michael Pickens. Helps break the tie for FIU, at least for a moment. Now a payoff pitch, and if Pickens can get the strikeout here, it would be massive, to say the least, for Middle Tennessee. The payoff, swing and a miss, and John Michael Pickens steps up in a huge moment and delivers a strikeout on the pinch hitter Kyle Kaler to send this game to the top half of the 9th inning where the Blue Raiders will look to add some insurance and hopefully put an exclamation point on a Conference USA road victory here tonight in Miami. Back in 1 minute for the top of the ninth here on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
When the arena lights dim for a concert, or when the crowd becomes one at a big game, you can almost feel like you're the biggest fan. But who's your biggest fan? It's the person that will get you home safely after a night of drinking. It's the person who looks out for your life to make sure you leave the stadium with someone sober. This could be a designated driver or someone who offers to get you a ride share. Because in Tennessee, fans don't let fans drive drunk. Brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, a division of the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security.
The Blue Raiders are winners in the classroom, on the field, and the courts. Richard Lewis here. I want you to win in real estate also. Buying, selling, auction here in Tennessee, or along the Gulf Coast, a second home, or investing. Give me a call to help start that winning process. 615-319-9981. Oh, I'm never too busy for your referrals. Richard Lewis, Exit Realty, Bob Lamb & Associates.
The Blue Raiders are on News Radio WGNS.
Back here in Miami, Florida, Dylan Simmons with you on this Friday night. Top half of the ninth inning in game number 1 between Middle Tennessee and FIU in Conference USA baseball action. MTSU trying to hold on to a slim 1-run lead, and they'll have a chance to add some insurance here against Enrique Sierra, who is still on the bump for FIU. The Blue Raiders will start things off with maybe the best man they could have in this situation, Nathan Brewer, who is almost certainly the player for this game and maybe the player of the week considering what he's done tonight. 4 for 4 with 3 home runs for the Blue Raiders. 2 of those solo shots, 1 a 3-run homer, and he's hit a home run to left field, right field, and center field. And he still has a chance to make a little bit of CUSA history as far as we know. No Conference USA batter has ever hit 4 home runs in a single game. If Brewer could hit one here, it would not only give him the record, but it would also give MTSU a 2-run lead. Pitch from Sierra, fastball, high and outside, counts 1-0. But a hit of any variety against Sierra certainly helps in this situation. Brewer does have a single tonight, which he got back in the 6th. The 1-0, and it's high and outside by Sierra. Worst comes to worst, maybe Brewer can force a walk in this spot as well. He'll take whatever he needs to get on base and try to score a run for his Blue Raiders. Ball 3, another high fastball from Enrique Sierra, and the count goes to 3-0. Brewer trying to get on base. Can he do it possibly with a walk? Here comes Sierra's 3-0 offering. This time he straightens it up on the fastball and gets a strike. Count goes to 3-1. Chess match late in this contest between Brewer and Sierra. Who's going to get the better of it? 3-1. Make it a 3-2. Couple good fastballs in a row from Enrique Sierra, with a chance to come back from a 3-0 count and possibly get a strikeout on Nathan Brewer. Can the lefty batter deliver again? 3-2, fouled back into the backstop. Just a little bit of contact made by Brewer. Darkness here in Miami. Night sky is buzzing, stars in the sky, and stars on the field. Nathan Brewer trying to shine the brightest of all of them. 3-2. High fly ball, deep to center field. Cleveland ranging back. It is gone! 4 home runs for Nathan Brewer, and a new Conference USA home run single game king has been crowned. What a night for Nathan Brewer. History is made in Miami. An 11-9 lead for MTSU, and a moment that Nathan Brewer will never forget here at the FIU Baseball Stadium. Drilled it beautifully over the center field wall, over the head of Cole Cleveland, and young man, soak this up all the way. But while that history's been made, we got to get back to Brett Von Dolan, who's at the plate, watching a strike go by from Enrique Sierra. Count goes to 0-1. Nathan Brewer, what a special talent. What a special guy. And by the way, not only does that give him the record. It also gives him the team lead in home runs with 12. Overtakes Dean O'Neill with that homer. Von Dolan knows a thing or two about setting records for MTSU. He's at the plate. This pitch gets by him, and the count goes to 2-1 as it was missed on a ball. Still a 2-run advantage for MTSU now, and that might be the exclamation point on a potential victory for the Blue Raiders, but they can't take anything for granted here. But if they do end up winning, Nathan Brewer, he might need to be carried off the field after this performance. That's ball 4 from Enrique Sierra. A 5-pitch walk is drawn by Brett Von Dolan, a man who knows all too well how to do that. And he will make his way over to first base with no outs for MTSU. Brett Rogers will come to the plate for the Blue Raiders, 0 for 2 so far tonight. Got struck out in the 7th, reached on a walk in the 5th, reached on an E6 in the 3rd, and reached on a walk in the 2nd. This pitch high from Enrique Sierra. Count goes to 1-0. Even after the history made, MTSU still got to focus on getting the win tonight and enjoying the fun that is this game, as Jerry Myers mentioned. Counts at 1-0. Rogers watches it go by for a strike. Great off-speed pitch by Enrique Sierra to bring the count to 1-1. Trying to limit the damage that MTSU does in this top half of the ninth. 1-1. That is low for ball number 2. How about 24 combined hits in this game with 20 combined runs? Some sort of night for offense here in Miami. Count at 2-1 to Rogers. Sierra trying to level the fastball again. He does use it and gets the strike. Count goes to 2-2. Placed in well in the lower part of the zone. Enrique Sierra did get a couple of strikeouts to end the bottom half, or top half of the 8th, Now trying to do something similar in the top of the 9th. Still no outs, though. Runner at first, and a swing and a miss for Brett Rogers. And Enrique Sierra will get that 3rd strikeout of the game as he gets Rogers swinging. Clay Badalak will come to the plate for Middle Tennessee. 1 for 4 in this contest. Badalak was able to get a single earlier for MTSU, an RBI single at that, but has not reached since in this game. What a time it would be for him to deliver. High chopper fouled to the right side of the field. Count goes to 0-1. Clay Badalak struck out looking back in the 7th inning. Flew a ball out to center in the 5th. Struck out looking in the 4th. And got an RBI single in the 3rd. Count is at 0-1 with a runner at first and Brett Von Dolan, and a swing and a miss for Clay Badalak. Count goes to 0-2. FIU fans trying to urge Enrique Sierra to another strikeout, this time on Clay Badalak. 0-2 pitch, and that is high, and it gets past the catcher Hirsch. That will allow for Brett Von Dolan to take second, and the count coming up for Clay Badalak in this situation will be at 1-2. Enrique Sierra trying to keep Clay Badalak at bay. Count at 1-2 now with a runner in scoring position in Brett Von Dolan. 1-2 pitch. And this pitch is going to miss the zone just barely. That was a good job by Badalak to detect that and not swing at it. Another man may have done that, but Badalak standing strong. Count at 2-2, and he fouls this one up above the press box. Count will go to 2 balls and 2 strikes, or rather stay at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Enrique Sierra having a tough time dealing with Clay Badalak, who's standing in and refusing to give up his spot at the plate yet. 2-2 pitch. Low, almost made contact with Badalak, and it was a good job by Mark Hirsch to just keep the ball in front of him. The count will run full at 3-2. Von Dolan still in scoring position, and if he was able to score here, it would probably be the knockout blow for MTSU as long as everything went according to plan in the bottom of the ninth. 3-2, swing and a miss for Clay Badalak, and Enrique Sierra recovering well after the home run given up to Nathan Brewer with a couple of strikeouts in a row and now 4 total on the game. We go back to the top of the order to Owen Nowak. Flew a ball out to left his last time up, grounded out to first in the 5th, single in the 3rd. Did deliver an RBI and a ground out in the 2nd, and reached on a walk in the 1st. Now Nowak at the plate. Von Dolan still at second with 2 outs. Sierra, nice breaking ball for a strike. Count goes to 0-1. That was a good job of mixing the breaking ball back in to his range of pitches in this top of the 9th. Got an 0-1 coming up here on Nowak, and that was well to the inside, almost made contact with Nowak. Count goes to 1-1. Owen Nowak, 1 hit today, single back in the 3rd, has not gotten one since, but still remains ever present whenever he's at the plate. Low pitch here by Sierra, count goes to 2-1. So much trauma, so much tension, so much at stake for both of these teams, with the CUSA ramifications and everything that comes with it. Count coming up at 2-1, and this pitch is in low for ball number 3 on Nowak. And he's got a chance to possibly work a walk here, which he did back in the 1st inning, which would put a couple of runners aboard and set up Tyler Minnick. But we'll see. 3-1 on the way. Sierra's going to check back to second, and they get the out on Brett Von Dolan, who had a pretty big leadoff over near second base, and he got caught on the pickoff move. So that will be an unceremonious 3rd out in this top half of the 9th inning, and that will bring us to the important bottom of the 9th, but MTSU does add some insurance. Nathan Brewer, a history-making night with a 4th home run shot on the Panthers to set a new CUSA home run single game record. Back for the bottom of the 9th in 1 minute to see if MTSU can close it out in Miami on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
Las Casas Drugs is a proud sponsor of Blue Raider Athletics, located at 4702 Las Casas Pike, just minutes from Murfreesboro. Las Casas Drugs strives to provide all of your pharmaceutical needs in that hometown atmosphere you deserve. Family-owned and operated, Las Casas Drugs offers free delivery, immunizations, drive-through window, gift shop, merchandise, and medication management programs. Come by and see how we can make a difference. And go Blue Raiders.
Bring your game day style courtside with a stop at Lightning's locker room on the concourse. From bold new drops to timeless campus classics, we've got everything you need to turn heads from class to tip-off. Whether you're rocking a hoodie in the student section or sporting a tee around town, your look says it loud. You're here for the wins, the energy, and the tradition. So step up your style and your spirit, because at Lightning's locker room, the season never slows down, and every fan plays a part in the hype. Let's make every day feel like game day.
Rutherford County's MTSU station, News Radio WGNS.
Welcome back here to Miami, Florida. Dylan Simmons with you on this Friday night in the land that they call America's Playground. And it has been a heck of a game tonight between Middle Tennessee and FIU. Nathan Brewer making a little bit of history with 4 home runs tonight, and MTSU with a 2-run lead over the FIU Panthers, approaching this bottom half of the 9th inning, trying to clinch a potential first game victory against FIU. John Michael Pickens staying on the bump. MTSU 3 outs away from a win after Nathan Brewer's solo home run in the top half of the 9th to give them a 2-run lead over FIU. But as we've seen all night with these Panthers, they are not a team that goes away quietly and quickly. They're going to give Middle Tennessee all they can handle here, and John Michael Pickens and this Blue Raider defense will have to stand in strong. It will be Mark Hirsch who will come to the plate. 7, 8, and 9 due up for FIU in this inning. Well, actually, it's going to be a switcheroo. Pinch hitting for FIU instead will be number 16 for FIU. That is Caden Samler to the plate. Usually plays catcher. He's a junior out of Waukee, Iowa. Played at Waukee Northwest High School and Ellsworth Community College. 304 average on the season, 11 RBIs and 17 hits. And now he's pinch hitting against John Michael Pickens. And Pickens' first pitch is a fastball for a strike. Counted 0-1. So FIU willing to go to the depths of their bench to see if they can find something against this Blue Raider squad late in the game. 0-1 coming up to John Michael Pickens. Here's a ground ball to short, picked up by Badalak on the run. Off balance throw, easily got it to first for a 6-3. And Badalak made what is a really tough play and really athletic play look really routine with what he just did right there. But that's the luxury that Clay Badalak, being your shortstop, gives you. 6-3, one away in the top of the ninth, or bottom of the ninth, and that sends on Hector Candelas. 1 for 2 in this game with 1 hit, 1 run, and 2 at-bats. Has struck out once against this MTSU squad, reached on catcher's interference in the second, a hit by pitch in the fifth, a single in the fourth, and the strikeout in the seventh. And here's a strike for John Michael Pickens. Count goes to 0-1. This game, by the way, past 3.5 hours now. It's been a heck of a contest as far as length goes, but MTSU doesn't care as long as they get a win. They'd like to win this marathon as Pickens sails this pitch wide of Tyler Minnick. Didn't hit his glove. Count goes to 1-1. Of course, you can afford to do that when there's nobody on base. It is Trey Freeman, actually, who's at the plate instead of Candelas, another pinch hitter for the Panthers, number 47. Another guy who comes in sometimes into the starting lineup, junior out of Tampa, Florida. He will swing and miss at this, and the count goes to 1-2. Freeman formerly played at Santa Fe College, has a 182 average on the season, 4 RBIs and 6 runs with 2 homers, so he does have home run capabilities. Trying to use that here. The 1-2 coming up from John Michael Pickens. Fastball, and it hit Trey Freeman, and that'll make him head over to first with a hit by pitch. So MTSU puts a runner aboard on the hit by pitch on Trey Freeman, and Cole Cleveland, no pinch hitter this time. He will be at the plate, and he represents the tying run for FIU with 1 out. Cleveland 1 for 3. Remember, he does have a triple in this game. Certainly has the power and the capability to send one over the wall. That's what John Michael Pickens has to be aware of, trying to keep his Blue Raiders afloat. Fastball, ground ball, softly hit to third. Von Dolan there, throws to first. That's out number 2. A 5-3 that takes out Cole Cleveland. Trey Freeman advances to second. But there's only 1 out left between MTSU and a historic and memorable Game 1 victory here tonight against the FIU Panthers. It is Sammy Fisher who makes his way to the plate, a man we talked about a lot in the pregame show, but he's been quiet tonight. 0 for 3, has reached on a walk and hit by pitch, though. Taking on John Michael Pickens. Freeman at second, but you got to score 2 runs. So the only way for FIU to keep their hopes alive is to get Fisher on base in some capacity and then either have him get the 2-run homer or score another run after he brings in Trey Freeman. Counted 0-1. Ground ball to second. Picked up by Clapp. Easy underhand toss to first, and that will do it. Middle Tennessee, through grit, grime, and all of the drama you could imagine, finds their way to a Game 1 victory over the FIU Panthers here in Miami, behind an incredible job by the MTSU bullpen to hang on to the lead, and a historic 4-home run performance from Nathan Brewer, no doubt game MVP and maybe MVP of all of Conference USA for this week, for the history that he made tonight against the FIU Panthers. What a win for MTSU. What a way to start this series in Miami. How can you not be romantic about the game of baseball after a game like that? We're going to take a 2-minute timeout. When we come back, we will have your Blue Raider postgame show and wrap things up from the FIU baseball stadium and preview tomorrow's game between MTSU and FIU as the Blue Raiders look to clinch the series. Back in 2 for our postgame show on the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner.
Hey Blue Raider fans, this is Brad Hopkins with Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates. Winning in real estate is a lot like football. Good coaching and recruiting a great team are the keys. I put together a team of lenders, inspectors, and home professionals to help you succeed. Let me coach you through this process and make sure you come out a winner. Whether you're looking to buy, sell, or invest, I am here to help you win. Visit BradHopkinsHomes.com or call 615-556-9239 to find out more.
At State Farm, when home and auto work as a team, you score and save money. I'm State Farm agent Andy Wama. Give me a call at 615-890-0850 and let's work together to win big by saving money on home and auto. With the service you get from State Farm, you might think our car insurance costs more. I'm State Farm agent Andy Wama. Give me a call at 615-890-0850 and let me show you with discounts up to 40%. You may find it even costs less.
At Middle Tennessee Electric, we see the lines that link us all, illuminating our neighborhoods, empowering our businesses, and helping us to recharge. Because we believe in the power of good energy. Whether it comes from our grids, the sun, or a kind heart. And as your family and our region continue to grow, you can trust that we'll always be there for you. Middle Tennessee Electric, bringing good energy.
Hey folks, it's Chip Walters from Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates, helping Middle Tennessee make smart moves in a fast-moving market. Whether you're buying, selling, or just exploring your options, you deserve someone who knows this community and treats your goals like their own. From first-timers to long-time homeowners, I'm here to guide you with clarity, confidence, and a steady hand. When you're ready to make the next move, start with someone you trust. Visit choosechip.net and let's make your 2026 move the right move.
WGNS, the flagship station for Blue Raider sports. Today's game is in the books, and it's time to recap today's action in the Blue Raider postgame show. Today's broadcast on the Blue Raider Network has been brought to you in part by Will Fraley, attorney at law, State Farm Insurance, and agent Andy Womack, Middle Tennessee Electric, Exit Realty, Bob Lamb & Associates, and agents Brad Hopkins, Richard Lewis, Jonathan Harmon, and Chip Walters. And by Las Casas Drugs. Let's head back to the ballpark for today's Blue Raider postgame show.
FIU Baseball Stadium, and welcome in to the Blue Raider postgame show on WGNS and the Blue Raider Network. Dylan Simmons with you. And wow, what have we witnessed here on a Friday night? I'll tell you what we've witnessed. History. Nathan Brewer, the first ever 4-home run game in Conference USA history, belongs to number 47, not number 8 because he forgot his black jersey back in Murfreesboro, but he did have 47, and it's a good thing he did because he showed out in a history-making way tonight. Nathan Brewer, you are officially a legend in the annals of Conference USA lore, and congratulations on a special night. But he didn't get this win alone for MTSU against FIU. Blue Raiders winning 11-9 over the Panthers. And let's go over some of the post-game stats for your Blue Raiders tonight. Owen Nowak ends up with 1 hit and 1 RBI. Tyler Minnick had a quietly great night with 3 hits and 1 run as well. Cooper Clapp ends up scoring 1 run. Lane Akers with 2 hits and 2 runs in this game. Brett Von Dolan with 1 hit, 1 run. Clay Badalak with 1 hit, 1 run as well. And, of course, Nathan Brewer. Wait until you hear this stat line. 5 hits, 6 RBIs, 4 runs, and 4 home runs. 3 of those were solo shots. 1 was a 3-run homer, or else the score could have been even more inflated than it already was. John Michael Pickens is awarded with the win on the mound as well as the save tonight with an inning and a third. He ends up with 1 strikeout for MTSU. Gavin King went 2/3 of an inning with 1 hit, 1 run, 1 earned run given up, and 1 strikeout. Bryant Baranek came in for an inning and a third with 1 strikeout. Cole Torbett goes 1 inning with 2 walks, 1 strikeout, 2 earned runs, and 2 hits given up. And David Horn Jr. started on the mound tonight. He goes 4 2/3 with 6 earned runs and 5 strikeouts against the FIU Panthers. Middle Tennessee picks up their second CUSA road game win of the season, and they look ahead to tomorrow's game against FIU, which will be held at 3 Eastern, 2 Central here at the FIU Baseball Stadium. Tune in at 1:45 tomorrow here on the Blue Raider Network and WGNS. We will bring all the action to you as MTSU goes for the series against the Panthers. As for tonight, for my producer back at the station and for all of you listening in, I am Dylan Simmons saying so long from Miami, where your final score is Middle Tennessee 11, FIU 9. This has been a presentation of the Blue Raider Network from Van Wagner. So long and have an electric night.
Las Casas Drugs is a proud sponsor.
Thank you.
Athletics, located at 4702 Las Casas Pike, just minutes from Murfreesboro. Las Casas Drugs strives to provide all of your pharmaceutical needs in that hometown atmosphere you deserve. Family-owned and operated, Las Casas Drugs offers free delivery, immunizations, drive-through window, gift shop, merchandise, and medication management programs. Come by and see how we can make a difference. And go Blue Raiders.
Bring your game day style courtside with a stop at Lightning's locker room on the concourse. From bold new drops to timeless campus classics, we've got everything you need to turn heads from class to tip-off. Whether you're rocking a hoodie in the student section or sporting a tee around town, your look says it loud. You're here for the wins, the energy, and the tradition. So step up your style and your spirit, because at Lightning's locker room, the season never slows down, and every fan plays a part in the hype. Let's make every day feel like game day.
Locally grown, Blue Raider proud. This is Jonathan Harmon with the J. Harmon Home Team. As an MTSU alumnus and lifelong Rutherford County resident, I bring the heart of a teacher, the grit of a Blue Raider, and over 15 years of real estate experience to every client. Honest to a fault, connected to the community, and driven to serve. I don't just help you buy or sell, I help you understand every step. The J. Harmon Home Team, where real estate meets real talk.
Nothing is more expensive than a missed opportunity that could have changed your life. Maybe you're just graduating high school, or are working and need to earn a degree to advance your career. Or you aspire to be a leader, and a graduate degree can make that happen. Whether you're just starting out or retooling for the future, Middle Tennessee State University can help you get there. MTSU, the University of Opportunities.
Thanks for listening to today's Middle Tennessee State University baseball game. Today's game has been produced by Van Wagner College through the facilities of WGNS Radio. The content of today's game is owned by Van Wagner College and the Blue Raider Network and may not be reproduced without expressed written permission of Middle Tennessee State University and Van Wagner College. Be sure to join us next time for more Middle Tennessee baseball here on the Blue Raider Network on WGNS, the flagship station for Blue Raider sports.
Next, a special WGNS talk radio broadcast on FM 100.5, FM 101.9, and AM 1450. Atlanta Braves baseball is on WGNS, already in progress.
The bonus because the guy is just still trying to get the stars out of his eyes, and rightfully so. Big-time college player at Alabama. He played in big games. He played big weekend baseball, no doubt about it. This is going to be a little bit different. Everybody's just waiting for Austin Riley. And whether it happens and when it will happen and how long it will run if he does get hot, you'll see a different offensive team. He won't be hitting seventh once he gets hot.
Yeah.
The problem is he's hitting seventh because he's probably supposed to hit seventh. And that's not necessarily going to make it easier for the Braves to score runs. I agree with you. You can't have the bottom three, if not the bottom four, trying to set a table for the guys at the top, not getting on base, not getting that fifth at bat if you're the top three in the order. Sometimes it's predicated upon a number of things, but if it goes cold at the bottom, and all of a sudden you find yourself with a 4-at-bat night from the guys who really want to have the bat in their hand a little bit more.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how they move down through this. I think Austin's going to have a big night. I think this is going to be the day that he breaks out of it. I think having an off day yesterday will certainly help. He has been squaring up some more balls lately, so I think that having the off day really can reset him, because they've tried everything with him other than sitting him down for multiple games.